Denny Hamlin starts 8th, Marty.
Kelly Steve Letarte will tell you that there's no racetrack more important to Hendrick Motorsports and Mr. Hendrick himself than Martinsville Speedway. Jimmy Johnson himself has 8 wins here for Hendrick, and he told me, I hope this is an old school Martinsville race. It gets hot and slick out there. I think that's when we'll be our best. Jimmy Johnson hoping to recapture some of this Martinsville magic today. Mike?
Marty, Carl Edwards is one of just 3 chasers remaining without a championship, and he knows there are no guarantees that'll be among the championship 4 in Homestead unless he picks up a victory here in the round of 8. To do that, he says, he's going to use the first 400 laps today to dial in his race car so that his car's perfect for the last 100 laps as he makes a charge for his first Martinsville victory. Dave?
A year ago, he left Martinsville with car and dreams shattered, but today, both
NASCAR on NBCSN is brought to you by NASCAR Heat Evolution, now $49.99 for PS4, Xbox One, and PC. McDonald's, I'm loving it. Bank of America, life's better when we're connected. And by Sprint, proud sponsor of the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series.
Oh, what the hell happened there? Oh, what the hell happened there?
It's an absolute crapshoot.
That's a chicken move right there.
Welcome back to Martinsville Speedway. I want to take a look at today's starting grid brought to you by NASCAR Heat Evolution. That'll roll across the bottom of the screen. A gorgeous day for racing at Martinsville Speedway. Could be one of the warmest in over a decade. Car still sitting on pit road, warming up as they wait to roll out onto this half-mile racetrack. Interesting times now. We heard, listening into some of the radio communication, crew chiefs telling the drivers, make sure to warm your brakes up. Something that they want to think about early, even before the start of the race.
Yeah, you don't want to spike the brake temp. You want to try to bring that brake temp up slowly, get the rotors heated up in a nice, orderly fashion. But that heat that we're talking about, you mentioned how warm it is today. That's going to be a factor today, not only for the cars, but for the drivers. This racetrack gets very hot inside the race cars, and that'll play a role at some point.
Let's see if we can chat with one of the chase contenders. Carl Edwards allowed us to listen into his radio and chat with him. Jeff?
Hey, Carl, it's Jeff in the NBCSN booth. You with us?
Yeah, I've got you, Jeff.
Well, Carl, we've been talking all morning about how difficult this racetrack. Tell us why it is so difficult.
I don't know how much time you got, but I've had about every difficulty you can have here. The good thing is right now I'm sitting in the best car, the best equipment in the field with this Toyota, and I've got the best team. So if we got here and run all 500 laps the way we know how to do it, we stay mentally strong, there's no reason we shouldn't win this race. So, but yeah, you got to put a lot together to win.
So it's very warm today. It's hotter than it's been since in the 90s. How's that going to affect you inside that race car?
Oh, man. It's going to be hard. You know, this place is tough. There's a lot of stress, physical and mental. But Dean Gollich, guys at CTS, Rob Hewlett, all those guys, this is what we train for. They help me get prepared for this. I think the biggest thing, though, is to tune this car, to communicate with Dave all day.
Carl, thanks for taking some time. Good luck today.
All right, thanks, Jeff.
We do have the opportunity to ride along with a few drivers. You saw that we have a camera inside of the 19 of Carl Edwards. We're also riding along with a few others, guys.
Yeah, and it starts with a pair of Stewart-Haas Racing teammates. Kurt Busch will start in the 23rd position. He'll carry the state water heaters in-car camera. Kurt's teammate, Kevin Harvick, is in row 10, starting 20th, and he'll carry the Hunt brothers onboard camera.
Behind them in row 4, we have Denny Hamlin, and Sprint's going to let us ride along with him all day. Be some fun shots. And right next to him is Carl Edwards, and he has a Toyota camera.
You come to Martinsville, who better to ride along with than an 8-time winner, Jimmy Johnson, starting in the 3rd spot with the Chevy onboard camera.
And after last week's win, Joey Logano and his team got to feel really good, so we're going to ride along with them with the Ford in-car camera.
Not only will we be inside the cars, but we'll also be high above the Martinsville Speedway. Our aerial coverage provided by our partners at Smithfield Foods. That gives you a good perspective of just how small, how short, and how tight the corners are here at Martinsville Speedway. Let's take a look at the race analysis from Martinsville. 500 laps will be just over 263 miles. The pit road speed 30 miles per hour. That is going to be a very interesting number to keep our eye on today. The fuel window between 140 and 150 laps, Steve.
Yeah, you wouldn't think that a team is going to want to stretch the fuel window in one consistent run, but all day we're going to have to see decisions. Do you pit? Do you stay out? If a crew chief decides to stay out a couple times and then gets a long run, they might have to try to stretch that fuel.
Before the green flag comes out, let's go back to pit road. Dave Burns.
Rick, I know your creative juices have been used this weekend to carve pumpkins, but somebody on the 78 team painted their pit stall. Well, actually, it's up and down pit lane. That's a very sticky substance, usually Coke syrup, that they put down on these pit stalls to make sure the driver gets maximum grip when they're leaving. The rule is that you have to spray something you'd be okay putting inside your body. So that's why most of them just use some Coke or other sort of sticky soda syrup. And I don't know if this is a Van Gogh, but it could be a Leroy Neiman.
It's definitely interesting, but it will give not only the cars a grip, but it also gives the crew members grip.
That's really the biggest issue, I think. You know, when you talk about concrete surfaces, they can be treated different ways, but they just seem to have a little less traction for a sneaker than perhaps asphalt. So sometimes that syrup has more to do with the crew than it does the car.
Martin Truex Jr. is going to start up front. He was eliminated out of the round of 12. So you look at Martin Truex Jr. and you think about the fact that he really wants to show everyone that he still is a championship caliber driver, even though he's out of the round of 8.
Oh, it's huge for those guys to come in and sit on the pole and recover from last week. But I think one thing we need to watch right off the bat, Joey Logano, AJ Allmendinger, all these guys on the outside, they're going to be fighting to get to the bottom as quick as they can.
Let's check out the Ram Guts and Glory for today's race.
Well, when you talk about Martinsville Speedway, 500 laps, you have to remind your driver to be patient. There are times in this race where you have to settle in and be happy where you're running to make it all 500 laps.
At the same time, you got to be very aggressive. When a hole presents itself, you got to put that car in there at the right time. So balancing patience and aggressiveness, that's going to be the game all day long.
We saw aggression a year ago at this race. Thinking of that as I see Joey Logano up in the front row for the 5th straight race at Martinsville. How aggressive do you get as we take a look at this week's Ford Drive to the Championship?
Well, Rick, I think these numbers speak for themselves. Look at the wins. 13 combined wins for Denny and Jimmy, only 4 with the rest of the other 6 chase competitors. And how about laps led, Jeff? Over 4,000 laps led by Jimmy and Denny.
Yeah, these two guys have kind of set a new standard. Just very good at this racetrack. They're good at every racetrack, but they love the rhythm of this racetrack, and they figured out that balance between patience and aggressiveness.
2 by 2 they line up as they get ready to rocket out of turn 1 or into turn 1, and you see the King, 15-time winner here at this race. I'm sure that he took his cowboy hat off, because as soon as these cars come flying by, there's going to be a lot of wind right there.
Almost didn't know who he was without the hat on.
Cowboy hats off. Field in the hands of Martin Truex Jr. as they come out of turn 4. The King waves the green flag. We're racing at Martinsville.
Joey Logano immediately jumped on the bottom when he had that hole presented, because Jimmy Johnson did not get a great start. Good break for Joey Logano.
AJ Allmendinger has been good at Martinsville. He starts on the bottom of the track now, down in the 4th position, as Tony Stewart trying to find a line or a hole to get into.
And that's the key. If you're on the bottom, if you are Carl Edwards right there behind Chase Elliott, it is to stay on Elliott's bumper. Don't allow that 14 to get in line.
14's got a little bit of a hole right behind the 19. He needs to slow up really hard and try to get in, but he gets in front of the 19 actually.
Big run for 14 of Tony Stewart. Now they're nose to tail. All the way back to the 88. Jeff Gordon subbing for, as we see the 48 out of line, but Jeff Gordon subbing for Dale Earnhardt Jr. today.
Oh, and he's got to fight hard right here because he sees that line coming. He does a good job, gets a good launch. Allmendinger's not going to be patient.
Allmendinger already putting a little bit of the right front fender to the 48.
and almost let him back in line. I don't know if he meant to hit the 48, but that's what you're going to see. A little give and take. You know, he gets in there a little deep. He doesn't maybe mean to hit the 48, but there has to be room.
You used the word patience earlier. We're only on lap 4.
Well, listen, the 48 was pinching him down and won that bottom because when you looked in the mirror, he saw a whole line of cars lined up. He had to force the issue. Look at Denny Hamlin's. He got a problem?
Denny Hamlin?
Well, he just let the 18 go, I think.
Looks like maybe teammates helping each other out here early in this race.
Yeah, I think the 11 saw the 18 coming. And instead of letting him pass him on the inside and creating that freight train situation where everybody on the inside gets by you, he smartly moved to the left and let the 18 go by on the outside. That prevented being pushed back 7 or 8 spots. Look if you get on the outside right here. There's nowhere to get in.
And Denny Hamlin just came over the radio to tell his crew chief, Mike Wheeler, that he is really tight on throttle. He said, I mean, like really tight, like something's wrong.
And you see off the rear bumper of Denny Hamlin, the 42 of Kyle Larson's trying to take advantage of that. And this is where Denny has to make a decision because the 42 is going to continue to have that run. How much does he want to defend? We saw a little bit of bump between the 47 and the 48. Luckily, though, the 48, no real effect. That same bump, a little bit firmer, you could be up the track losing multiple spots.
Yeah, how does tight affect the race car? Tight is just the car will not roll through the middle of the corner at the speed that you want it to. So the 42 of Larson, he's able to go so much faster through the center of the corner, but then accelerate earlier to try to get a run on Denny Hamlin. Denny's doing a really nice job of holding him off, and he needs to. Again, we've talked about that long line of cars behind him.
Already putting the bumper to him just a bit there, but one of the ways you're going to be able to tell who's holding someone up is the gap in front of the car. So there's a gap in front of the 11, and that means that the 11 right now is holding up the 42.
Yeah, but this is where Denny Hamlin is so good here. Watch this 11. Watch how patient he is along that pink curbing. He's going to get to it right here, and he's not going to leave it. His car doesn't turn, and he knows that. So he stays out of the gas until his car has completed the corner, and then when you hear him accelerate, look how confident he goes to the throttle. He waits, one time to the gas, driving away from the 42.
And he puts Larson in a position where the only way he's going to get by the 11 is to move him. If you leave on the bottom with enough speed, how's the 42 going to pass you? So a slower car can block here because there is no outside lane. 11
laps already have clicked off at Martinsville. 78 of Martin Truex Jr. has been up front for all 11.
Denny Hamlin talked about being very tight. That's not completely uncommon, Steve, on a short run, where the car just will not turn. You have very low air pressure, and sometimes that's built into the setup of the race car. The 11 car may have a better car on long runs versus short runs, and when you have that situation, it will not run to start. That lower air pressure just won't turn. So let's watch the 11 car and see what happens as this run continues.
And now he's stuck in the predicament of is he on offense or defense? Because offense, he wants to try to maybe enter a little bit higher right here, turn a little bit later, get a straight shot off to try to get underneath the 18. But the problem is if he mistimes that, the 42 of Kyle Larson is going to be able to take advantage of that.
Now at Talladega, everybody was looking in the rearview mirror. You don't have a lot of time to be looking in the mirror when you're at Martinsville. Dave?
Here this afternoon in Martinsville, Team Penske trying to foster the culture of greatness. They have their 2016 Verizon IndyCar Series champion, Simon Pagenaud, in attendance. Now, this is not the first NASCAR race that he's been to. He's been to a couple of brickyards, but this is his first short track. And what a unique experience for him today. He'll spend a few laps down here, then head up to the suites where he might be served a Martinsville hot dog.
Good to have the 2016 IndyCar champion here at Martinsville with us. Out in front, Martin Truex Jr. leading at Martinsville.
If Carl wins today, I'm going to do a backflip.
Maybe when you're dreaming.
Guys, I'm telling you, I can do a backflip. Yeah, I've seen Carl do it a million times.
Oh, that's neighborly.
Enough. You're good, man.
That is a banner.
Hand me one of the wings. Nice one. Yeah, that's good.
Toyota. Let's go places.
All right, dude, you got this.
You got to stick the landing.
Hey, man, you want a wing?
I'm like a sponge for this stuff. I can learn it, get it, sell it. I can do this job in my sleep better than some people can do awake. I just want to make sure this brain stays in hyperdrive.
Hey, we hear you. That's why AARP created Staying Sharp. It's more than brain games. It's a personalized 360 approach to brain health with assessments and tools that can help you keep your brain sharp. If you don't think this is right for me when you think AARP, then you don't know ARP. Get to know us at aarp.org/possibilities.
Sunday night.
is for the young and the hungry.
The rookie touchdown.
Sunday night is football night on NBC.
Discover Card. Hey, I heard you guys can help me with fraud protection.
Sure, we help with fraud protection.
If there are unauthorized purchases on your Discover Card,
You're never held responsible.
you are saying fraud protection. Fraud. Fraud. I think we're on the same page.
NHL fans, show your team pride at discover.com/NHL card.
Sunday night is for the young and the hungry.
Have you ever seen a rookie start a career like that? The rookie touchdown.
Sunday night is football night. Eagles, Cowboys on NBC.
And dealer stock.
Watch the chase for the NASCAR Sprint Cup with the NBC Sports app. You get closer with additional camera angles, driver stats, and track information. You can watch live anywhere on any device. Find out more at NBCSports.com/live. And the first caution looks to be coming out. Issue for Ricky Stenhouse Jr. That's a backup car. He had a problem in qualifying on Friday.
That's a pretty heavy contact for Martinsville as well. That thing is shortened up a few feet at the back of the 17.
Yeah, he either spun or got spun getting into the corner.
Meet him in the garage here, guys.
He's sitting in the middle of the corner right now, so
Trying to find an opening so he can get down on the racetrack and get back to the garage, as we just heard on the communication there.
You see he's already backwards up out of the groove, carrying quite a bit of speed. So to your point, Jeff, he either had an issue like a wheel hop issue or had some help at the end of the backstretch, but he got spun around really early. You see right here, he's high out of the groove. I don't see a car behind him. I would have to guess that looks like a wheel hop issue, wouldn't you assume?
yeah, that would be my guess. That's the same problem he had in practice wreck. He wheel hopped to get into turn 3 and is much out of the groove and the pace he was carrying. And obviously, he had some sort of braking issue.
Yeah, that was Friday in qualifying. The wheel hop issue right there.
Yeah, that shows it right there. You see that right rear tire, a ton of movement inside the wheel while hopping on and off the racetrack. He goes around, and you see a little bit lighter contact right there. You can hear the engine making a ton of noises. It was hopping up and down, and then they unloaded a backup car, and unfortunately the backup car only lasted around 22, 23 laps. And now we see pit road is open very early in this race. It's going to be interesting to see who decides to pit and who doesn't. We see the pole sitter come.
Race leader, Martin Truex Jr. has decided to come, and A.J. Allmendinger is going to follow him, but quite a few are staying out on the racetrack. For the pit stops, let's go down to Mike.
And Carl Edwards pretty happy with his race car, although he had some concerns coming in because the second practice yesterday they were a little bit off. Feels like the balance has been pretty good over the course of this run. Don't expect any major adjustments to the race car, just an air pressure adjustment, 4 tire change, and Sunoco race fuel for Carl Edwards. Meanwhile, his teammate Kyle Busch, the spring winner here in Martinsville, also very happy with his race car for the most part, although he felt like the car was getting a little bit loose in, tight center as the run went on. Marty?
78 of Martin Truex is in. No panic in their voices. Car seems good, so it's just a standard 4-tire stop for the 78.
First on pit road, first off pit road for the 78 Martin Truex Jr., but quite a few cars stayed out.
Upgrade season's here. I got my new iPhone 7 from Sprint.
Sprint? I'm here good.
Hey everybody, Karen Lamano and Parker Kligerman. Thanks for clicking in. We're in our NASCAR America studios and Martinsville is underway. If you are driving in this race, what kinds of things are you looking to get from your race car?
Well, aside from the chase contenders who are focused on one thing, and that's getting a good run to start off this round of 8. But how do you get a good run? Well, it starts with the starts and restarts and when the car is on low air pressures. When it's on low air pressures here at short tracks, it's going to be very unsettling getting to the corner. It's not going to turn well as you get to the center of the corner. But then as you get into the long run, this is where the meat of the race happens. We get very long runs at Martinsville, and what you want from your race car is to have drive off, which means it doesn't want to spin the tires as you get back to the throttle. Cars that are able to not spin the tires and protect those rear tires over the long run could find themselves definitely contending up front, and that will be what you need to hopefully win this race.
Are you going to pick a winner?
Ooh, Jimmy Johnson.
Jimmy Johnson, he says, all right, enjoy the rest of the race. We'll see if the 48's in victory lane.
Advance Auto Parts.
500 degrees, 40 below, and protection for 15,000 miles. Mobil 1. Energy lives here.
I'm like a sponge for this stuff. I can learn it, get it, sell it. I can do this job in my sleep better than some people can do awake. I just want to make sure this brain stays in hyperdrive.
Hey, we hear you. That's why AARP created Staying Sharp. It's more than brain games. It's a personalized 360 approach to brain health with assessments and tools that can help you keep your brain sharp. If you don't think this is right for me when you think AARP, then you don't know ARP. Get to know us at aarp.org/possibilities.
Those fresh tires now, while they have an advantage, try to get the track position back.
Kelly.
And when Denny Hamlin learned that he was in fact hit with a speeding violation, he said, hey, I wasn't really trying to get anything there. My bad, you guys. I've got to be a little bit more aware. And then his crew chief, Mike Wheeler, saying, hey, I know you're going to go and put on a show out there. Just make sure we still got something there for at the end. It's early. Remember, he's recovered from an uncontrolled tire penalty to go on and win this race. Mike?
Kelly, his Joe Gibbs Racing teammate Carl Edwards also hit with an exiting speeding penalty as well on that last pit stop. He and his crew chief Dave Rogers had this to say afterwards.
Is that the section between the 20 and the 18? Yes, it is. All right. Yeah, I think what we discussed in the driver's meeting, I either misunderstood it or just wasn't thinking there.
And immediately following that, Rogers came over the radio and said, hey, bud, that's on me. To which Carl said, no, I just thought it was too good to be true. We're both in this together 100%. But he also said, it's a good thing it happened early. We can make up for it. Rick?
So what I hear there, Rick, is that with these curves, you could play a little bit of game and up the RPM because the radius of the corner, the way the math works out, it sounds like he was given some instructions, he being Carl Edwards, on perhaps running a little different RPM. Maybe it was too high. Crew chief tried to take the responsibility, but Carl wouldn't let him do it, tried to jump in the lifeboat with him.
And it was 2 JGR cars that got caught for speeding there. Denny Hamlin, who, by the way, that's his 10th speeding penalty of the 2016 season.
Well, when you talk about cars that decided to come to pit road and who didn't, we look at 2 Hendrick teammates, the 24 of Chase Elliott and the 88 of Jeff Gordon. They're the last 2 cars on the racetrack with old tires. So now, Jeff, they're in a very difficult situation because this 2 of Brad Keselowski, he has fresher rear tires. He's going to accelerate off the corner better. And you see continuing to put pressure on the 88, and he has to because behind him, the 4 is looking to pass him, the 41. What happens with these 2 old tires? They kind of stack everyone up.
And they do, and you made a good point earlier in the race that Keselowski has to make this move at the right time, because if he makes it at the wrong time and it doesn't work out, then Kevin Harvick's right there to take advantage of it. So you never want to be the last guy with new tires, and sometimes the strategy just works out that way.
Well, here's the patience, Rick. Here's where it comes into, right? Can Brad look for a completely clean way? Now he's going to look outside the 88. The 88 is going to have to defend because once the 2 gets him up, which he's done right here, this isn't going to be one spot. This is going to be at least 4 or 5 spots before the 88 gets back in line. He's already looking for information from TJ Majors. Where can I get down? No hole behind the 4. No hole behind the 41. They're looking already way back to that 43 car, perhaps letting him in.
And Martin Truex Jr. making the pass on the 48, took second away from Jimmy Johnson. Marty.
Running back here in second is Jimmy Johnson. It's been 2 years since they've had a top 5 here at Martinsville. No laps led in the last 4 races. I talked to Jimmy before the race. He said, you know, I hope today's kind of old school Martinsville. It gets hot, sunny, and slick out here, and we lay a lot of rubber down. He said, to me, that's been the difference in the last 4 years. As we ride along board with him right now, he said the track just hasn't seemed to take rubber, and that hasn't worked with our setup. We're a little different today than we've been here in the past, but we need to get a win today. And Steve, you know, even though they're bringing the same tire back, the track reacts differently at different times, and rubber into the track is a big factor for these teams.
It makes a big difference, Marty. And the other thing we're seeing is new tires make a bigger difference than perhaps we thought they would, Jeff. While we do have Logano out front still with old tires and Jimmy Johnson running in third, look at the front. Look out the front windshield of the 48. The 78 is driving away and running the 22 down.
Yeah, Truex is a solid 0.2 of a second faster than Logano, so tires are mattering, and that's going to set the strategy for the rest of the day. Again, it's a balance between track position and how new your tires are. The 24 car, we saw he did not pit, and he is all the way down to 15th.
That's the battle for the lead. Joey Logano has it right now, but pressure tires on the 78 of Martin Truex Jr. has brought that 78 right up to the back bumper of Joey.
The one advantage Joey Logano has is there's a big gap behind the 78. So I think right here he's going to lift, let the 78 go. He knows he's quicker just like this. Let him clear him and get right back into his rear bumper. Lose as little time as possible. There's no reason to fight it. He knows the 78's going by.
And hope the 48's good enough to hold back everybody else that has tires.
Martin Truex Jr. gave up the lead to come to pit road to get 4 fresh tires. It's paid off. He's back out in front.
Toyota, let's go places.
I'm like a sponge for this stuff. I can learn it, get it, sell it. I can do this job in my sleep better than some people can do awake. I just want to make sure this brain stays in hyperdrive.
Hey, we hear you. That's why AARP created Staying Sharp. It's more than brain games. It's a personalized 360 approach to brain health with assessments and tools that can help you keep your brain sharp. If you don't think this is right for me when you think AARP, then you don't know ARP. Get to know us at aarp.org/possibilities.
I'm Clay Matthews, and I'm good at football. And so is Verizon. Because now you can watch every live, local, and primetime game on your phone with NFL Mobile, exclusively on Verizon. All without using your data. That's better than good. It's the best. And I'm the best. Watch live NFL games, NFL Red Zone, and more with NFL Mobile, all in HD, only on America's best network.
Sunday night is for the young and the hungry.
The rookie touchdown.
Sunday night is football night on NBC.
Discover Card customer service? Ma'am, this isn't a computer. Wait, you're real? With Discover Card, you can talk to a real person in the U.S. like me, anytime. Wow, this is a recording. Really? No, I'm kidding.
NHL fans, show your team pride at discover.com/NHL card.
Only on NFL Network.
Coming into the round of 12, Martin Truex Jr. looked to be one of the favorites for the championship. But a week ago at Talladega, the engine goes up in smoke. His hopes of a title go away. But that doesn't eliminate the drive as he won the pole at Martinsville and now once again back out front. After coming to pit road early, he makes his way back out front with 4 fresh tires. You can get your NASCAR coverage when you're on the go with NASCAR Mobile. The official app of NASCAR puts race coverage and live in-car cameras right at your fingertips. You can even listen to drivers and teams discuss race strategy. Download now at NASCAR.com/mobile. And welcome back to the Goodies Fast Relief 500 from Martinsville Speedway.
Those tires are starting to catch up. See the 48 car, he has gotten hung up on the outside. He's lost about 6 spots. Full contact right there. That's just Martinsville. You'll see a lot of that. 48's going to try to get in behind the 4 of Harvick.
Wrinkled defender a little bit of the 48 of Jimmy Johnson there. That left front, we'll want to keep an eye on that.
Ken's immediately going to make a run on the 48.
That'll be a good-looking car in about 300 more laps if that's the only damage that's on the 48.
Yeah, he's all the way back right now to 9th. So there's no question tires are going to matter. And this is going to continue. More and more cars are coming.
And remember, Jimmy Johnson restarted in the front row.
You guys, you can imagine how frustrating it is for Jimmy Johnson. Restarted second and falling back to the field. And Jeff, all he hears on the radio is Earl Barber and the spotter saying, inside, inside. And he can clear him, but he's got to get there quickly. He doesn't have much time to get down when he is cleared. So awfully frustrating behind the wheel. And here's Kurt Busch going by with 4 fresh tires as well. So I can't imagine, Jeff, what that's like behind the wheel. And his teammate Jeff Gordon behind him, he's on the same tires Jimmy's on. So when you're on the outside, it's tough to get down in Martinsville.
Yeah, it's exceptionally tough. And the 41 car doesn't appear to have a really good race car. He's having trouble getting by the 48. He must be really tight. Car just won't turn on corner exit. Jimmy Johnson almost is able to clear him, but it's really nothing you can do, Marty. You just got to sit up there and keep battling and find your way down. And this is where Jimmy Johnson is so good. He's proved it throughout the years. He knows how to be patient. He knows how to deal with situations, deal with problems. It's lap 59. Long way to go, and he's just got to be patient and get the most out of it, but not do something that's going to put himself in jeopardy.
Well, and then we see, as we watch these guys, the 23 of David Reagan was very, very fast in both practice, but we see a lot of smoke out of the back of this car. I don't know if it's tire smoke or a mechanical issue. It doesn't seem like they have a lot of damage. I don't see a fender wrinkled in. They're going to have to come to pit road and find out what that issue is.
And the caution has now come out. We saw the 23 duck onto pit road quickly. They think there potentially is fluid on the track.
Yeah, and it looks like fluid smoke to me, Rick, because now that he's going slow, it's still smoking heavily, which tells me that there's some fluid leaking from somewhere.
Yeah, big disappointment. This team was very good in practice. They had a lot of speed, actually led the final practice. Very promising. But a little update, Denny Hamlin. We saw Denny Hamlin and Carl Edwards. They both got penalized for speeding on pit road. Hamlin had worked himself up to 17th. Carl Edwards has worked himself back to 20th.
Well, and the counter of that, Chase Elliott, who decided to stay out and restarted up inside the top 5 or 6, has fallen all the way back to 23rd on those old tires.
And I think the problem with that is now that people realize tires are important, everybody's going to pit.
That's right.
So you lost all that track position, and you're not going to get anything for it. Sometimes you make a sacrifice. You know that people are going to pit. It's going to work out for you later. But in this situation, I think everybody's coming on pit road.
And Rick, that shows me how good Joey Logano is.
Right.
Because on old tires, he hung in second position.
Here they come. The 78 of Martin Truex Jr. will lead the lead lap cars onto pit road. Currently only 4 cars not on the lead lap. And we'll go to Kelly.
And you'll see the 4 car of Kevin Harvick, who was working his way through the field after starting this one from the 20th position. Kevin just reporting that his car is too tight center, and he said it continues to just get tighter and tighter. 4 tires, Mike.
Kyle Busch, another one complaining of the car being a little bit too tight, saying the sliding the nose coming off the corner. They're going to make a 4-tire change there. Also an air pressure adjustment for Kyle Busch, Dave.
Second place, Logano says he loses the turn at the 2/3 mark. 4 Goodyear tires, the Phillips Sunoco fuel. Asford Lear, 78 of Martin Truex. He said the rubber buildup, in that the car is not turning. He'll get 4 and leave.
Race off pit road brought to you by Geico. Truex Jr. with that all-important #1 pit stall wins the race off of pit road.
Have fun with your replaced windows.
Wait!
Leave him! Leave him!
Brick and mortar, what?
When you bundle home and auto insurance with Progressive, you get more than a big discount.
What'd you get for bundling home and auto?
You get sneaky good coverage.
Thanks. We're gonna live forever!
It's a big Australian dinner party every Outback, every day. And the fun starts at lunchtime. That's right.
Here's today's moment from 1995. That year, Stewart won USAC championships in midgets, sprint cars, and Silver Crowns. In fact, he became the first driver to win all 3 titles in the same year. The Triple Crown is a feat that was matched by J.J. Yaley in 2003, driving cars owned or previously driven by Stewart himself. Pretty cool moment.
Oh, the new Nascar drink. Oh, Kyle Busch. Oh, cash, credit, or debit?
Well, man, I'm fresh out, but it is my drink.
Oh, I mean, not really. I mean, it's more of my drink.
I traded my hand.
Oh. Really? Yeah.
Get rowdy.
I see.
What's with these people, man? Lemonade. Read the sign. Lemonade.
Okay.
Delicious.
Iced tea at a lemonade stand? Surprising. What's not surprising? How much money Marin saved by switching to Geico. Toyota, let's go places.
Sunday night is for the young and the hungry.
The rookie touchdown.
Sunday night is football night on NBC.
Right, that was a deal they worked out before the start of the green. If you'll take the outside 78, the 18 said he'll let you down.
So early on, we see that work early in the race, but the last pit stop and the last restart a year ago, no games were being played.
Well, A.J. Allmendinger, I was wondering if that was going to happen. The 22 drove him all the way to the bottom of the front stretch. I don't think Allmendinger appreciated it. He had the run, and he showed it in the middle of 1 and 2 and moved the 22 up.
That's a great example. We talk about cars that are in the chase. A.J. Allmendinger doesn't care about the chase. He's not in it. He cares about trying to win this race. He's going to do everything he can, and we've seen already how aggressive he is. Expect that to continue.
One thing we haven't seen yet is anyone hit the bump or hit the curb and shoot up the racetrack. That we know will happen at some point in time in this race.
Oh, it's happened. We just have missed it because there's no way with 40 cars someone hasn't run over the curb yet.
That's one of the other unique things about Martinsville. That pink curb all the way around in both 1 and 2 and 3 and 4.
So we talked about the 22 trying to restart on the bottom, and the reason is because the bottom is such a preferred lane. So you can see right here, the 47's kind of inside. The 22 runs him down the racetrack, The 47 has to lift. The 47 feels like he has that spot. So he gives him a shot on corner exit, moves him back up, and takes the position. That is the risk you take if you block on the straightaways.
And 47 could have just wrecked him, right? He could have just drove into turn 1 and just said, you know what, I'm not going to put up with it. Instead, he waited, slowed up a little bit, and then got into him in the middle of the corner just to move him out of the way versus spinning him out on corner entry.
And Jeff, yesterday you mentioned that's one of the things that drivers will always remember, how someone else races you. So now if Joey Logano gets to the back of the 47, he knows that the 47 raced him that way, and he will race the 47 that way if he needs to.
Yeah, he probably won't remember the part about not wrecking him and getting into turn 1. He'll just remember the part about getting hit.
You know, Jeff, I spoke with the A.J. Allmendinger's crew chief, Randall Burnett, this morning, and one of the questions I asked him was, you know, it's got to be kind of a fine balance, being out there, one of the competitors looking for a win, but at the same time knowing there are others competing for a championship. He said, look, we're out there for ourselves. We're going to race as aggressively as we possibly can to get the victory. Right now, a battle brewing up front. Kyle Larson stalking Martin Truex Jr.
Yeah, shot for the lead here. The 42 looks to the inside, and Kyle Larson will take the lead away from the 78 of Martin Truex Jr.
And I think that right there was just a case of Martin Truex Jr. saying, you know what? Go ahead, young man. If you're going to run that hard, you think that's the pace we need to run, I'm going to give you the lead. He was probably running as hard as he wanted to run, abusing his equipment to the limit.
And we've talked about this with Kyle Larson. We know that he's going to give 100% every single lap. That's the only way he knows how to race. It's what makes him so fast. He's having to learn the process of managing a 500-lap race. Let's see if he can make that happen today.
Will that come back to bite him? Being this aggressive early, running these aggressive laps, will that wear his tires out quicker than the 78?
Well, it might, but when we looked at the time chart, Jeff, you and I had this conversation. Kyle Larson had tons of speed, and we said, you know what? He has to have a good car here and run up front to learn these things. This is how Jimmy Johnson became so good. Denny Hamlin became so good. Kyle Larson, maybe he'll drive off the front of the field and disappear. But if not, and he wears the rear tires, smart race car driver, he'll file that away, maybe drive it a little bit different later in the race.
Steve Chad Johnston, his crew chief, told me that this spring, running up front with the leaders did teach Kyle Larson a lot. And one of the main things was that you cannot manhandle the race car. He has to take care of it. We will change it when he needs it, but he really has to be careful with the inputs that he has. And running up front taught him a lot.
There's always a question about how aggressive you need to be. Well, the 22 car, once again, trying to block getting in the corner. McMurray in the 1 car, he thinks he's there. The 22 is coming down. McMurray just puts the bumper to him and moves him up the racetrack. So we've seen already twice, Joey Logano early in this race is trying to block to protect their position, but no one's allowing it. Everyone said, you know what, I'm not going to allow it, and they just move him out of the way. So it's always a decision. Lap 79 only. How aggressive do I need to be to protect these spots?
It's funny, our Ram Guts and Glory from earlier, as the battle for the lead once again takes place, and Martin Truex Jr. takes the lead back away from Kyle Larson. But earlier you guys mentioned the word patience and aggression. We have clearly seen both early in this race.
You could use the same, on the same lap, you could use both. You could be patient and not put the bumper to a guy in one corner, get to the other end of the racetrack and be aggressive and fill a hole. That's what we mean, is there's no script to how these 500 laps are going to go. These drivers have to decide, and Jeff, you've said this before, every race is different.
Yeah, and every lap's different, and there's levels of aggression. Like, it's not either I'm going to be aggressive and knock the guy out of the way, or I'm going to be aggressive and just try to get the car in a certain position. So you have to determine at what point in the race and what position you're in how aggressive you want to be. You don't have to just be either not aggressive or completely aggressive. There's differences between the two, and you have to understand where you are in the point of the race.
Martin Truex Jr. has never won at this racetrack. As a matter of fact, 5th is the best he's ever finished, twice here at Martinsville.
Geico Motorcycle.
If Carl wins today, I'm going to do a backflip.
Maybe when you're dreaming.
Guys, I'm telling you, I can do a backflip. Yeah, I've seen Carl do it a million times.
Oh, that's neighborly.
Enough. You're good, man.
That is a banner.
Maybe one of the wings. Nice one. Yeah, that's good.
Toyota. Let's go places.
All right, dude, you got this.
You gotta stick the landing.
Hey, man, you want a wing?
Sunday night is for the young and the hungry.
The rookie touchdown.
Sunday night is football night on NBC.
Discover Card customer service? Ma'am, this isn't a computer. Wait, you're real? With Discover Card, you can talk to a real person in the U.S. like me, anytime. Wow, this is a recording. Really? No, I'm kidding.
NHL fans, show your team pride at discover.com/NHLcard.
Sunday night is for the young and the hungry.
Have you ever seen a rookie start a career like that? The rookie touchdown.
Sunday night is football night. Eagles, Cowboys on NBC.
Morning, everyone. Welcome to Today. It is Halloween.
Our costume reveal is going to be epic.
If you're in the neighborhood, come on down to the plaza and join the fun.
Oh, watch it, buddy.
We're ready for the big reveal.
I've invested a lot in this game, and the returns I get out are measured in reps. Competition. Sometimes it's audibles, bright lights, and celebrations. It's huddles, camaraderie, and games played.
At TD Ameritrade, we believe the best investments are the ones that matter most to you.
Tonight on NBCSN, following live race coverage from Martinsville, a new documentary which chronicles a year NASCAR will never forget, 2001. Dale Earnhardt's death at the Daytona 500, Dale Jr.'s stirring win in the July Daytona race, and the sport's passionate reaction to the September 11th attacks. That's NASCAR Seasons 2001, tonight at 6:30 p.m. on NBCSN. Welcome back to Martinsville. Out in front, Martin Truex Jr. has already led 61 laps. Joey Logano was up front for 21. Kyle Larson for 6, and Regan Smith for 2 during the pit stop exchange. I want to listen into spotter communication and team communication from the 41 team.
Don't get feedback, really. Looks like we're losing it on the exit at 2 right now from the middle out. On the 5/8 point. We're better off of 4 than we are 2. We're too tight. That's what it looks like to me right here. I'm having him open up his entry a little bit.
That was spotter coverage presented by Liberty Mutual Insurance, helping drivers worry less.
That's a great example. Rick Corelli, the spotter, talking to the crew chief, telling him what he's seeing. Kurt's not hearing that conversation. He's not hearing that they're letting Kurt drive, but that's what crew chiefs do today. They're more than just spotting for that race car. They're also helping the crew chief understand where they're getting beaten and where the car needs to be better.
Well, and the problem the 41 has is if you look, there's 5, 10, probably 15 car lengths in front of him to the 22. No room behind him. And you see the 88, 48. Now the 48's going to jump inside Jeff Gordon in the 88. And because it's time to go, they know they're getting held up by the 41. The unfortunate thing for the 88 is, he got back in line. I didn't think he was going to be able to get back in line, Jeff.
Yeah, I was wondering about that move. I saw him put his hand out the window and let the 48 go, and I thought, well, how are you going to do that with Keselowski right behind you? I thought he would have been better off to move to the left and let Jimmy Johnson go around on the outside.
You drivers are pretty impressive what you can do in a race car.
I was going to say, of course, I haven't won here as many times as Jeff Gordon has. So.
Rick, don't encourage him.
9-time winner in the 88 and an 8-time winner in the 48.
And on the left side of the screen, you see the 42 of Kyle Larson being hunted down by the 4 of Kevin Harvick. That's for the 3rd position. We saw Larson go up and take the lead for Martin Truex Jr. early in this run. But since then, Jeff, he's lost about 2 seconds to the 78. I just wonder if he didn't go just a little hard when those tires had all that grip, put just a little bit of wear on them, and now the 4 is running down as we see Jimmy Johnson finally gets by the 41, but the 41 does a nice job and gets back in line.
And I bet the 4 car, he started way back in 20th and has already worked their way up. So what didn't look like a very good weekend for that team. They wasn't very much positive coming as far as how his car drove, wasn't happy with it, but right now they made the right changes going into this race.
And I'm going to use cars like Kevin Harvick as my example. What we're going to hear is how important track position was. And when the race is over, someone's going to say they just never had track position. If they could have got it, they could have run up front. My argument is always the good cars find their way to the front. The 4 of Kevin Harvick has proven it. Started in the back and got up to 4th.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. Look at Kyle Larson. He's moved up the racetrack running the 2nd lane. It gets him a good launch off the corner. This is the first guy we've seen do this. Kevin Harvick gets underneath him, but watch what happens on corner exit. Kyle Larson, imagine that. Kyle Larson going to the outside.
Yeah,
I would not have thought it.
Yeah,
I would not have thought it at Martinsville, though.
Using that, almost 2nd lane is the 42 of Kyle Larson.
There was a lot of conversation. They did it. NASCAR did a test here 2-3 weeks ago, and they put some chemical on the racetrack on the top lane to see if they could make the top lane work well. All the drivers felt like it wasn't there anymore. It was all gone. The track was just stained. But you have to wonder if that's having a little bit of an effect of letting Kyle Larson run up there.
And the reason the 4 can't get underneath, coming off the turn, he can't get to the gas as quickly.
Well, he's trying to turn the wheel and go to the throttle at the same time, and it's just hard to get the car to turn and make rear grip.
Well, the 20 of Matt Kenseth is a quick study as well. Watch him. He'll go in the racetrack, purposely up the groove, turn in the middle, and look at this low, straight run he's going to easily get inside the 42. I think he had enough momentum to get inside the 4 just too early in the race to do that, but we'll see if Matt Kenseth learned something from that 42, as you mentioned, Jeff.
The 42 has lost 2 spots now.
So what does Kenseth do now? Now that he's cleared them all, does Kenseth keep running the top?
Longest green flag stretch that we have seen. This one over 37 laps now. Take a look at this vantage point from Denny Hamlin's car.
It is, and this is going to show you this big curbing. It doesn't look that big from outside the car, but look to the left, that pink curbing. If you touch that, well, basically like that. Just like that, moves you up the racetrack. But the 11 of Denny Hamlin, another car that recovered. 104 laps into the race, back up to 14th after speeding early.
Kelly.
And Denny Hamlin now has 10 pit road speeding violations on the year. He had hoped that the one he had last week at Talladega would be his last. He says that he probably studies pit road as much as anybody. He always knows which pit stalls he wants before he even shows up at a racetrack. But he said there is risk versus reward. Being one of the fastest getting on and off pit road versus being one of the most penalized. Obviously, he picked up his today. He's now working his way back through the field. He had to restart from the rear. Moved up inside the top 15 now and saying still that his car's just a little bit tight, Mike.
Kelly, penalties aside, Denny Hamlin is a huge asset for Joe Gibbs Racing, especially when you consider his record here at this speedway. 5 wins, he's led over 1,300 laps of this track, so you can't blame his teammate Carl Edwards to try and mimic what he's doing out there right now. Let's listen in.
He's passing up top. This car is good. You see the 11 up there, what he's able to do, so we'll pay attention to that when we go forward. It's pretty neat what he does. I haven't been able to time it yet. He's just driving around him up there right now.
So Edwards tracing the line of Denny Hamlin, nothing new this weekend. In practice yesterday, Denny Hamlin intentionally followed Carl for a good 20-25 laps, and after that run, they debriefed where Edwards went to Hamlin, and Hamlin gave him a little bit of critique on how he ran this racetrack. Very much a team player for Joe Gibbs Racing. Hamlin trying to spread the wealth as far as knowledge goes of this place, guys.
Martin Truex Jr. still out front. Kyle Busch, Matt Kenseth chasing behind now in second and third.
Welcome to Martinsville Speedway. This is one of my favorite racetracks. 1/2 mile. They call it the paperclip for a good reason. It's shaped exactly like a paperclip. We talk about it every week, but perhaps here it's as important as everywhere. Restarts. I'm the outside car. I'm starting in the restart zone. The leader goes, now I go. Trying to get the rear tires to hook up. It's very difficult. Get to the corner. I can't get to the bottom. I got to stay up here. If you wait too long, you're in big trouble. The inside gets moving and there's nothing you can do. You're going to hear this and see it all day. You've got to get on pit road right. Now here's the problem. These corners are curved. I cannot see around the corner. I can only see 2 pit stalls, maybe 2.5 in front of me. I've got to watch, make sure nobody's pulling out in front of me. Got to be very careful. Say I'm the #1 pit stall. I can't see it yet. I still can't see it. I still can't see it. My reference is this outside wall. My team's going to put a number on the outside wall. That's my point to start turning. So if I'm in this #1 pit stall, it's a huge advantage, and here's why. I get in here, I get my stop done. Now I can't get blocked. We're going to see 3 wide off of this pit road. There's no doubt about it. Also, when I leave, I can just go straight, and right here is my blend line. As soon as I get to this yellow line, that's where they lock me in. I can't get caught speeding. Huge advantage pitting right there.
Sunday night is for the young and the hungry.
The rookie touchdown.
Sunday night is football night on NBC.
or go to FlexiaLiquid.com. Welcome back to Sprint Cup Series Racing at Martinsville. The telecast presented by Nascar Heat Evolution. Like NASCAR on Facebook today at facebook.com/NASCAR. Now up to 49 laps of green flag racing. They've completed 115. But this is the longest stretch that we have gone under green flag conditions. Now at 50, it's Martin Truex Jr. out in front for a moment, and for a couple laps, Kyle Busch was able to pass the 78, but the 78 has gotten back by the 18, and so now Kyle Busch running second, Matt Kenseth third, Kevin Harvick fourth, and A.J. Allmendinger still running in the top 5.
Well, that pass by the 18 gave him that valuable bonus point of leading a lap.
And again, the 8 drivers running for the chase all reset points. They started this race all with 4,000 points. So they have separated themselves from the rest of the competitors, still running for that championship. Mike.
Well, you know, Rick, one of the feel-good moments of this season transpired right here at Martinsville back in the spring after Kyle Busch won the race. You may have seen the video that went viral. Kyle found a fan in traffic afterward. She got very excited. Her name, Darian Brazil. I actually spoke with her on the telephone last night to get her firsthand experience, what that was like. She said, I was going to protect that hat, not let anybody touch it. He said, that went out the window. I've been to 8 races since. I've worn it every time. She made the 4-hour commute this morning from White Lake, North Carolina, and she's in the grandstands today wearing that hat, hoping it brings Kyle some more good luck.
And some of the drivers do drive back and forth from Martinsville to their homes. A lot of them live under 2 hours from here, maybe a little bit north of Charlotte. And this racetrack just north of the North Carolina-Virginia border.
Rick, you mentioned we're in the longest green flag run, 54 laps into it. Remember at the beginning of this run, Kyle Larson pressured that 78 for the race lead. Well, it only took about 35 laps from when the 42 was leading to fall all the way back. Now he's outside the top 10, running in the 12th position. Conversely, right in front of the 42 is Denny Hamlin. He restarted 21st, and he has moved himself all the way up to the 11th position.
So what is it about this racetrack that some drivers, like Denny Hamlin, like the 48 of Jimmy Johnson, do they stay a consistent pace? They don't push their equipment too hard?
Well, it's understanding what the car needs to feel like, so it's good on a short run and a long run. I think it's more about the car than it is managing, in my opinion. But here we talked about some cars going forward, some backwards. Matt Kenseth sitting here running third. Done a really nice job on that last restart. We saw him charging to the front. He started in 17th place, so a move to the front for Matt Kenseth.
Currently running third, as you mentioned, chasing after his teammate, Kyle Busch.
He's running down. I mean, he's pretty far away from him. He's running down pretty close right now.
And he's done it, though, Jeff, without anything special. Look at him right down along the curb, very patient on corner entry, accelerates one time, very straight, saving the rear tires, doesn't put his car in harm's way.
Now, Jeff, I want to ask you, as I'm sorry, go ahead.
So here's the issue right here. Look at all these lap cars.
Right.
So now the 78 car, he's got to get by all these cars. They're going to fight him because they don't want to go a lap down. They're going to fight him. Once the other guys get to him, they'll probably be a little bit easier. See the 38 moves over, lets the 18 go. So lap cars on long runs always have a huge bearing on who can end up with the lead. Oh, contact
into the wall,
right there.
We saw there. A little bit of contact, and the 32 gets into the wall, so Jeffrey Earnhardt will have a little damage to the right side of that car.
And now they're side by side in front of the leader.
There a little bit, guys. Still coming inside.
Now Martin Truex Jr. making the pass. You see the 18 up a little bit higher. The 20 trying to take that second spot away.
It creates an opportunity. These lap cars give an opportunity for the drivers to try to pass each other that are on the lap. Look at this contact. Jeffrey gets loose, gets to the side of the 6, slows down, and then
they got tagged from behind by the 95, and that turned him to the right and into the wall.
But this is what we've been back all the way on Friday. We talked about there's difference between a good lap time and the racecraft at this little tight half mile, and that's what we're seeing now. It's not just how's your car driving, how fast can it be, but how's your car driving through traffic when you only have one lane off the corner? How well does your car move around? How much does it hurt the tires to work through these lap cars?
Yeah, this racetrack, because it's so small, it's very hard to pass. I mean, you're talking about championship contenders trying to pass lap cars, and they're not just blowing by them. It's difficult to make these passes.
Brian Scott, he's got some damage to the right side of that car. That's probably going to have to bring him to pit road.
Yeah, and this is the second time we saw the 44 go around. They were able to repair it, but he wheel hopped earlier in the weekend and damaged the right rear quarter panel. It looks like he has another pretty good contact with the wall.
Lettering has rubbed off of that left side tire and the right side rear tires, so obviously he's got some tire rub and has had some contact. Last week, career best finish for the 44. Brian Scott finished second at Talladega, and now he comes to the shortest track, and a lot of smoke still rolling out from behind that 44. The tire continues to rub the fender. And Jeff, the question I was going to bring up to you, and you pretty much answered it, but as a guy who is in front of the leader, how hard do you race them early in the race? We're only 131 laps in. Do you try to hold that position, or do you find a spot where you're not going to lose too many positions by giving him the spot?
You do your best to hold him behind you, and then you race him to be the first car lap down. So you just have to judge who is behind you. If the guy behind you is one lap down, then you race accordingly. If the guy behind you is 3 or 4 laps down or a leader, then you race differently. But you're trying to position yourself We've got a caution right now, debris, I believe.
Caution comes out. Danica Patrick has just gone a lap down. The possibility exists that she will receive the free pass under this caution. Just the third caution of the day on lap 133.
There you see, looks like maybe a piece of rear bumper. Pretty high up, but that's a big piece of metal. If a car does get up there, we just saw the 44 get up near the wall. If he kicks that down into the groove, that could be something pretty dangerous. NASCAR has to go collect it. So we see right here on board with the 22, looking at the 44, getting into the corner. Oh, you can see the left rear tire bouncing on and off the asphalt. That is wheel hop. 44 chases it up the track, makes contact with the wall. I would bet that rear bumper must be from the 44.
Yeah, this was in practice. We talked about wheel hop. It seems to be happening more often today than it has in the past. And watch the left rear tire. You'll see it start shaking. You can almost see it stop, and then it bounces. That's wheel hop. And one thing you can do at that point is just quit turning the wheel. If you don't, the car is going to completely spin out.
And once again, we see Martin Truex Jr. lead the lead lap cars on the pit road as they will get ready for service. Kelly.
And you see the 4 of Kevin Harvick, who worked his way all the way up into the top 5. He said that he needs a little bit more bite getting back to throttle. It's going to be a 4-tire stop for Kevin Harvick.
Matt Kent is saying he's very tight in the corner, getting in the middle of it, very slow there. They're going to make a 4-tire change, also a wedge adjustment on the 20 car. Meanwhile, the 18 of Kyle Busch feels like the front is a little bit too tight, especially when he works the track bar. They're going to go back on that, a 4-tire change there as well, Dave.
Martin Truex Jr., the leader, will get a wedge adjustment. Car is just a little bit tight now. That is better. 4 Goodyear tires and full of Sunoco fuel before he leaves pit road, and it looks like he'll be first off again.
Race off pit road, Harry, once again. Truex Jr. holding his position, as do all the top 4. Coming up next, Dale Earnhardt Jr. will join us here in the booth.
Iced tea?
What's with these people, man? Lemonade. Read the sign. Lemonade.
Okay.
Delicious.
Iced tea at a lemonade stand? Surprising. What's not surprising? How much money Marin saved by switching to Geico.
Toyota, let's go places.
Sunday night is for the young and the hungry.
The rookie touchdown.
Sunday night is football night on NBC.
Discover Card. Hey, I heard you guys can help me with fraud protection.
Sure, we help with fraud protection.
If there are unauthorized purchases on your Discover Card,
You're never held responsible.
you are saying frog protection. Fraud. Frog. Fraud. I think we're on the same page.
NHL fans, show your team pride at discover.com/NHL card.
Sunday night is for the young and the hungry.
Have you ever seen a rookie start a career like that? The rookie touchdown.
Sunday night is football night. Eagles, Cowboys on NBC.
NASCAR on NBCSN is brought to you by Credit One Bank, the official credit card of NASCAR. Coca-Cola, taste the feeling. Harvoni, are you ready? And by Ford, we go further so you can. They've added a lap, so we want to welcome in Dale Earnhardt Jr. All 4 of us have clocks in our houses. I had to build mine. These 3 all won from here at Martinsville. But, Junior, what have you seen the first 136 laps of this one?
I've seen some interesting things with guys trying to save tires, guys going hard, tires wearing out, a little bit and banging. It hasn't really got that exciting just yet. It's going to before the end of this race, but it's been interesting seeing these guys try different lines. And, again, the tire management is so key here.
And you have been so good, as all the Hendrick drivers here, but we mentioned the words patience and aggression early. What kind of a driver were you when you were at Martinsville?
It just depended.
Can I answer that? I'm not sure it's fair for him to say, because I've seen it both. Very patient.
Okay.
And then there was a race here. I'm not sure we had fenders left at lap.
After 100 laps.
100 laps, yeah.
You got to get your money's worth, though, right?
I've definitely learned a lot of lessons here, that's for sure.
And another driver that has been caught for speeding on pit road, the 4 of Kevin Harvick. So now, Denny Hamlin, Carl Edwards, and Kevin Harvick all have been caught for speeding. As we get ready for the restart, it's Truex Jr. and Kyle Busch. Once again, Truex Jr. on the outside. A deal has been worked. Martin Truex Jr. will go right to the bottom of the racetrack. Kyle Busch gives him that opportunity. And Kyle Busch will stay there in the second spot. Joey Logano on the high side trying to fight for a spot. See if something will open up so that he can dive into a hole, but right now he's stuck on the outside.
And Rick, you mentioned those speeding penalties. They're always painful for these drivers and teams, but as we get farther into the race and the laps to recover become less and less, the pain of these penalties is going to become more and more.
Yeah, you can get away with that early on, but late in the race, or even right now, that could really be difficult on the driver. He's going to have to make up a lot of spots on the racetrack. There's not much strategy they can really do from pit road to get those spots back.
Yeah, look at the 11 car. He's a car that got caught. You know, Denny Hamlin got caught speeding on pit road early and worked himself up to about 6th or 7th on this restart, but he has gotten hung out on the outside, and he is desperately looking for a way to get to the bottom. He sees that hole right there. It's just not quite big enough. The timing wasn't right for him.
Yeah, it's a difficult decision to make. Do you race as hard as you can and hope a hole opens up, or do you go back a little bit and take it easy and find a hole that's possibly like behind the 41 here?
Yeah, like right now, he sees that hole. He's got to feel it. He's got to aggressively get in there. Good job.
And you heard his spotter telling him there's a quick hole, get down. Now the 88's going to have that issue. TJ Majors is going to try to tell Jeff Gordon when he can get down. Does he try to beat the 3? Right here, he's going to squeeze him down. The 3's going to be there. The 41's, I'm sure, going to fill the hole. The question is, how about his teammate? Is Chase Elliott going to let the 88 in?
And we saw early in the race, the 22 at the end of pit road stopped trying to prevent from being on the outside. That's why Denny Hamlin just lost 5 spots because he was on the outside.
Yeah, the outside groove here just isn't very competitive compared to the bottom. There's a couple new patches of concrete on the outside in turn 4 that makes it very challenging to find grip when you go through that concrete on the outside lane. Obviously in 1 and 2, it's also not very competitive. They start to use that outside lane as the tires start to wear. You can get in the corner wide and high and make a straighter run off the bottom to save that forward drive. But early in the run, you need to be on the bottom.
Yeah, when you have that grip, you just try to make the track as short as you can possibly make it. When you lose the grip, you try to open the track up a little bit.
Looking back from Kurt Busch, and he has Jeff Gordon, 9-time winner at this racetrack, right behind him in the 88.
This is when it's so difficult to be able to be patient and know that if this goes 80 laps, I've got to have some rear tire left on the car for the drive off and getting into the corner. So right now, you might have a fast car. The 88's looking hard to try to get around this 41, but you don't want to use it up too much, even though your car's very competitive. This could go long green, and it's still early in the race to where tire wear is very critical.
I think the other thing you pay attention to, how aggressive you are early in a run, is where are you? If you're sitting there running in a position that if you get a caution, you're going to restart in 5th, 7th, 9th on the inside, then you don't push quite so hard. But if you have a restart position that's going to put you on the outside, then you aggressively go try to take that spot. Because if you're going to get a short run, you have to assume you're not going to pit. And so there's a strategy involved in that as well.
Well, you know, it's one thing for the 41 and the 88 to worry about their tires. They're in 13th and 14th. But what about Kevin Harvick? Just got caught for speeding on pit road, had to start at the back of the pack, restarted 26th, currently running 25th. How hard does he push? Because it's not just about tires. Brakes, gearing. The harder you push your car, this is like a marathon. You only have so much energy, so much life in this race car, and if Kevin Harvick abuses it, while the brakes will still work, Jeff, do they work as good as the leaders that perhaps had a little bit cleaner air as we see Greg Biffle move over and let the 4 go by?
I actually can't speak for Kevin, but as a driver, I actually felt like I was pushed harder when I was running inside the top 10. The speeds are up, there's competitive cars there, and you want to maintain that track position, so you probably run a little bit harder. Pass for the lead there.
How about Matt Kenseth taking the lead away from Martin Truex Jr., another teammate at Joe Gibbs Racing, and a bonus point will go to the 20 of Matt Kenseth. So we'll see if Kenseth will potentially let the 78 back by. He will. It looks like that might have been a little bit of a I'm going to help you out here move.
Well, we wondered how long the Joe Gibbs cars and the Toyotas could work together, and so far they're working together really well. But remember, Truex Jr. isn't in the chase.
That's right.
So he's working well with the cars that are trying to win a championship. We'll see if the 20 or the 18 gets to the lead, if they can continue to play nicely.
And Martin Truex Jr. on a completely different agenda now. Now that he's been eliminated from the chase hopes and the championship run, now Martin Truex Jr. wants to go out and prove to everybody, hey, I think I still could have won this championship. If I wouldn't have had that engine failure, I'm going to go out and show you guys. I'll win the rest of these races if I have to.
And I think the most important part of that, everybody, is just them. Because, you know, there's another year coming. There's another opportunity coming. And I think that with great disappointment, if you can still bring something out of it that's positive, that's what you do. And this team, you know, winning as much as they did in the regular season, then coming and having that problem last week, it had to break their hearts. But the only way to get over that is to go get another trophy.
I want to take a look at of the short track races. 4 of the 5 races Joe Gibbs Racing has won this season. Presented by Sprint. Sprint's network reliability now within 1% of Verizon. Switch today. Save 50% on most Verizon, AT&T, or T-Mobile rates. Visit the Sprint store or sprint.com/network today. And, of course, Martin Truex Jr. and that 78 team in alliance with Joe Gibbs Racing. So they have been very strong at all of the short track races this year.
Yeah, it's quite a bit different mentally when you're out of the chase picture. A lot of pressure and tension is gone from the Truex team. Those guys can really just let it all hang out. They can go out there and try to win all these races and just dominate like you're seeing them do today. The guys that are still in the chase, they're watching every lap they run, really being careful, getting into the corner, trying to take care of their cars. It's a totally different mindset.
And Junior, when you say that, the pressure, I mean, you experienced it a year ago, being in the chase. What kind of pressure are you feeling? What kind of pressure are these 8 guys feeling right now?
You just don't want to be one of the guys that gets bumped out. And at every lap you run, you're careful on the decisions you make and the risks you're willing to take. On restarts, you got to really take care of yourself, not get run over, not get dumped by somebody who's not in the chase and doesn't really worry about your situation. So it can be really, really difficult mentally throughout the race, particularly when it comes down to those late yellows. You know, this place has a tendency to throw a lot of curveballs late in the race to these crew chiefs on strategy. In the last 100 laps, when to pit tires, when to stay out. You can be running great in the top 3 all day long, and something strategy-wise could take you out of that top 10 finish that you're looking for to get today.
So much pressure, not only on the 8 drivers, but the 32 others fighting for a win here at Martinsville.
All the new Nascar.
I think it's just like anything else. You either have it or you don't.
A lot of it is the communication to your driver. You have to be aware of what he needs to know.
Here comes Jimmy. Be a nice opening behind him.
As we talk on the radio, you want to be very detailed.
Well, you have to stay calm, you have to be clear, and you have to be precise.
Go ahead and start rolling a little bit. Just 2 to get by you. They're right here on the front stretch.
Just have a good racing sense. Just have a feel of how the things are playing out and what's happening on the track.
Concentration, focus, and confidence.
Looks like Superman won. Good job, boss. Good job, fellas.
Brought to you by Liberty Mutual Insurance, helping drivers worry less on the track and on the road.
Toyota, let's go places.
Sunday night is for the young and the hungry.
The rookie touchdown.
Sunday night is football night on NBC. Sunday night is for the young and the hungry.
Start a career like that. The rookie touchdown.
Sunday night is football night. Eagles, Cowboys on NBC.
Sunday morning, 6 Eastern on NBCSN.
We're on lap 167. Sprint Cup Series racing at Martinsville. It's telecast presented by NASCAR Heat Evolution. Spotter coverage is brought to you by Liberty Mutual Insurance, helping drivers worry less on the track and on the road. High atop the spotter stand, just above the press box. 40 guys keeping an eye out for the 40 drivers on the track.
Yeah, so important. See right here, you can hear spotters saying inside, giving the direction about where to go. It's, these tight racetracks. We saw last week at Talladega, the great big track. The spotter is so important, communicating with the driver. It's equally as important here because the cars are so close together. The tracks are completely different. The cars are just all right together.
Yeah, not only is it important for him to get him information about cars around him, but giving him opportunities to get back in line. We know how important that bottom line is. Knowing a good spotter is a spotter that knows there's a hole there and knows it's not going to close up before they get into the braking zone and the guy doesn't get dumped.
Can you guys create a hole? Is there a way that you can create a hole?
Well, I mean, drivers can create holes. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. You've seen it today not work for Joe Logano a few times.
Yeah.
It just depends on really how you race throughout the season. Guys kind of race you that same way. This racetrack, though, has taught me more lessons than any other racetrack on how to race, how to take care of your car. When is it critical to try to make that hole or not make it?
Because the penalty of making a mistake here is that you hit something.
Yep.
Or you lose tons of track position, and the price here is bigger than it is everywhere else.
We see the 11. Look at the inside of 31 of Ryan Newman. And the 11 of Denny Hamlin once again had a speeding penalty, but has worked his way up to 7th now.
Yeah, I think Denny's as good as the top three. You see the Toyotas in the top three. I think Denny's as good as they are, if not better.
Truex Jr., Matt Kenseth, Kyle Busch, the top three. Logano in his Ford up there in 4th, and Allmendinger in his Chevrolet is 5th. Jimmy Johnson, Denny Hamlin, two of the best at this racetrack. Combined between the two of them, 13 wins between Johnson and Hamlin.
It's amazing the track record that Jimmy has here, how he's been able to get so many clocks. It's amazing, and he's still in the hunt today. I mean, you see him, he's on the same strategy now with tires that everybody else has, and you see him moving back toward the front, starting to inch forward.
Well, that just proves to me that even as chaotic as these short track races are, there's still somewhat of a strategy to it. There's no just happened by chance that Jimmy Johnson has won 8, that Denny Hamlin continues to win. The guys that are good at this half mile, well, it looks like a lock's out of your control. I think they really prove otherwise.
And you mentioned it doesn't happen by chance. I actually talked to Rick Hendrick earlier this week about the rumor and the story about his maybe not having a racing career if it wouldn't have been for this racetrack, this racetrack right here, because he had a race team. They hadn't won. He was struggling, and he actually told his crew chief, Harry Hyde, he said, you know what, we're not going to go to Martinsville because I don't think we're going to be able to continue. Harry Hyde said, you know what, there's a guy named Jeff Bodine. He's very good at Martinsville. We should go there. Well, one thing led to another. Jeff Bodine ends up winning that race, the first race that Hendrick ever won. They got the sponsor Northwestern Security Life to come on board, and the rest is history. The reason that you guys are sitting up here and have been working for Rick Hendrick and all of the successes that he has had from that day right there when Jeff Bodine won at this racetrack.
It's funny how almost every success story has a point just before this was successful where they had to decide whether to continue or not.
Yeah.
It's a difficult, challenging sport.
Now we got Matt Kenseth once again on the back bumper of that 78. Kenseth has led a lap. Truex Jr. has led the most, 144, now 145 laps he has been out front. I would call that a dominant performance of the only 178 that have been completed. But can he keep it up? That's going to be the big question, is can he maintain that? We still have 322 laps to go.
Well, and we have cars like the 48 trying to get up there and the 11 of Denny Hamlin. So this is on that front bumper of Denny Hamlin. You're getting ready to see exactly how you pass at Martinsville. He has run the 48 down. Now he's going to look for a way to pass. He enters a little bit high. Look how he turns down right to the curb. Gets off the corner, not quite as good as the 48. He's going to continue to work that, though. Try to enter, get the car turned, and exit straight. There you go, Jeff. Up the track, and now turn and go below the 48 on exit.
I was a little surprised the 48 opened the racetrack up so much on corner entry. To get to see right there, he kind of opens the track, turns late, kind of gives the 11 a little bit of a look at the bottom getting into the corner.
And I love the shot that you could see how much those rear tires work. As you see Matt Kenseth finally getting around the 78 for a second time.
And now Kenseth, I think, fought his way up front. There was no, I'm going to move out of the way and let you get a bonus point for leading. I think Matt Kenseth has decided it's my turn to be up front. We'll see how dominant the 20 will be. He's out front at Martinsville.
degrees, 40 below, and protection for 15,000 miles. Mobil 1. Energy lives here.
I'm like a sponge for this stuff. I can learn it, get it, sell it. I can do this job in my sleep better than some people can do awake. I just want to make sure this brain stays in hyperdrive.
Hey, we hear you. That's why AARP created Staying Sharp. It's more than brain games. It's a personalized 360 approach to brain health with assessments and tools that can help you keep your brain sharp. If you don't think this is right for me when you think AARP, then you don't know ARP. Get to know us at aarp.org/possibilities.
Discover Card customer service? Ma'am, this isn't a computer. Wait, you're real? With Discover Card, you can talk to a real person in the U.S. like me, anytime. Wow, this is a recording. Really? No, I'm kidding.
NHL fans, show your team pride at discover.com/NHL card.
Sunday night is for the young and the hungry.
The rookie touchdown.
Sunday night is football night on NBC. Sunday night is for the young and the hungry.
Have you ever seen a rookie start a career like that? The rookie touchdown.
Sunday night is football night. Eagles, Cowboys on NBC.
Today.
This October, Chevrolet has teamed up to help save lives from breast cancer. With every use of hashtag #IDrive4, we'll contribute $5 to the American Cancer Society.
Superstar California Chrome is back at Santa Anita to try and cap off his undefeated season with one more championship. Breeders' Cup World Championships. Coverage begins Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern on NBCSN. And it all leads to the Classic on Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern on NBC. We've got a Classic building here at Martinsville as the 78 of Martin Truex Jr. no longer up front. It's Matt Kenseth that is leading the way, and Kyle Busch has been able to get by Martin Truex Jr. as well. So Kenseth and Busch running 1 and 2. Truex Jr.'s dropped back to third. Logano and Allmendinger the top 5.
Truex here, he's obviously learned a little bit about his car on the long run. He's going to be looking for some adjustments to get his car a little bit better. He's obviously fallen off to the 20 to 18.
This has been a great battle between the 48 and the 11 for probably 15 laps now. Let's listen into the 11 radio.
All right, Chad. This is why I've raced you like I do.
That's Denny knowing that the 48's listening, talking right to Chad Canales, letting him know, hey, as we see the 48 getting to the left rear of the 47.
A little smoke there.
That's for position.
And that's big damage to the right front of the 48. I don't think it's going to affect the handling, but I think that just shows maybe
right front damage.
Oh, yeah, Jimmy, you
Sure
can have some right front damage for sure.
It's caved in a little bit. We haven't seen a lot of smoke, though, coming out from that right front. So maybe not a lot of tire rub.
As long as it doesn't rub the tire, damage here is not going to really alter the way the car handles. But we've actually seen cars drive even better when they start losing fenders.
What's interesting right here, you heard Denny Hamlin saying, okay, Chad, now you know why I raced you. He's been under the 48 several laps, but just can't clear him. He tried it again. Now Keselowski is trying to work the outside to get by the 11.
It's surprising me that Jimmy's contested this position this hard, considering what's on the line for these guys for the championship. But it's what it's all about. Every point counts.
But
Every
you see a tremendous amount of respect because Denny Hamlin has yet to make any contact with the 48. He's been underneath him now, as you mentioned, multiple times. He can't complete the pass.
And it's great watching this. Two of the best at this racetrack battling lap after lap for one position.
But this is the same thing we saw in the last long run. We saw this outside work. The inside's better in the middle, but on corner exit, the 48 just such a launch the 11 can't keep the position that he gains in the middle. Marty.
And Jeff, even as experienced as Jimmy Johnson is here with 8 wins, Earl Barberin has been guiding him on the lines that have been working. About 15 laps ago, he reminded him, he said, hey, if you need to use that high line, use it. Jimmy using it to his advantage to the 11, get into him, and Jimmy wave a little bit there. And another thing Chad Canals told Jimmy earlier, he said, I know you gutted it out. When we didn't pit at lap 24, we have an extra set of tires that everyone else does not have. Remember that for later in the race. That could come the advantage. But I don't know about you, I'm kind of shocked this outside is working as well as it is today here in Martinsville.
I'm a little surprised the outside is working as well as the exit of the corner. It just seems like Jimmy gives up the middle, moves up the racetrack right here, opens the steering wheel, but he's able to get the power down better than I would expect from the top lane.
And I think the reason Hamlin is upset is because he wasn't expecting it either. I mean, when a guy's on the outside of you at Atlanta, well, that's everything is normal, right?
There was the bumper right there. Just hit him, or contact as they go by. 2 chase drivers and a lot of contact there.
Sparks flying. That's exciting. I was so surprised the 48 contested that hard. But Denny was pretty patient, but finally lost his patience. Chased him down into turn 3 here.
No, he's got trouble. The 48's got smoke.
Now we're seeing a little bit of tire smoke out of the 48. Was he racing Denny Hamlin a little too hard? There was the bumper.
And the 2 thought the door opened up. I don't blame him to try to fill the hole. The 11 couldn't get away. The 48 came down, I think, with a little purpose to try to get to that bumper, the 11.
And the caution now comes out. So a restart will be coming. We'll see what happens as far as the 48. How much
you have to beat it out, all right?
How much damage they will have to work on under this pit stop.
I love short track racing. I mean, that's just what it's all about. You know, battling for position, that outside line starting to work. Denny Hamlin saying, hey, you know, that's not how we race at Martinsville. Got upset, moved him out of the way.
Yeah, he certainly was patient for a long time. All this stuff you see, Jimmy with the tire rub and so forth, that's not very serious. They can get that out pretty easily. Might lose a spot or 2 on pit road doing that. But this isn't a serious issue for him. It is lucky for him, though. He's got this caution to work on it. There's your caution. We've got some banners coming loose on the back straightaway. That Goodies.
You were wearing a Goodies shirt earlier today, actually.
Yeah, we came out here today to sponsor some new products. Obviously, the race being sponsored by Goodies. A lot of history here at Martinsville.
Free pass is going to go to the 6 of Trevor Bayne again. Earlier I had mentioned that the 10 of Danica Patrick was the first car a lap down, but actually she was still on the lead lap. Now she is a lap down, but Trevor Bayne was in the free pass position, so Trevor Bayne will get the free pass.
You're probably wondering why throw the caution with that sign. Well, what if that came off and got on somebody's grill, made the car overheat? Yeah, so just in the interest of fairness to everybody, throw the caution, go in and fix it.
Here they come down pit road once again, and we'll go to Kelly.
Denny Hamlin wanted to show Jimmy Johnson that he was not bluffing back there when he made that move. He said he's struggling a little bit with forward bite in the 11 car, but his biggest issue, and he's just tight through the center, so they're going to make an adjustment. 4 tires, Marty. Chad
Canals asked Jimmy Johnson what happened. He said, well, it was tight rolling in the center. I got the outside to work, but then the 11 just knocked me out of the way. They're going to concentrate on the right side, get that fender out, and on the left side as well. They may have to pit twice, Mike.
Matt Kenseth just completed his stop, 4-tire change, also a wedge adjustment on the left side. He gave up the lead to come down pit road for that stop, Dave.
Joey Logano gives up the third to come down for a car that was still a little bit tight, but overall much better. He said, I can point the car now, wedge adjustment for him.
They're going to spend a little extra time on pit road, at least the 48 will. Kenseth, Kyle Busch, they hold their positions off pit road.
If Carl wins today, I'm going to do a backflip.
Maybe when you're dreaming.
Guys, I'm telling you, I can do a backflip. Yeah, I've seen Carl do it a million times.
Well, that's neighborly.
Enough. You're good, man.
That is a banner.
Hand me one of the wings. Nice one. Yeah, that's good.
Toyota. Let's go places.
All right, dude, you got this.
You got to stick the landing.
Hey, man, you want a wing?
I'm like a sponge for this stuff. I can learn it, get it, sell it. I can do this job in my sleep better than some people can do awake. I just want to make sure this brain stays in hyperdrive.
Hey, we hear you. That's why AARP created Staying Sharp. It's more than brain games. It's a personalized 360 approach to brain health with assessments and tools that can help you keep your brain sharp. If you don't think this is right for me when you think AARP, then you don't know ARP. Get to know us at aarp.org/possibilities.
Discover Card? Customer service? Ma'am, this isn't a computer. Wait, you're real? With Discover Card, you can talk to a real person in the U.S. like me, anytime. Wow, this is a recording. Really? No, I'm kidding.
NHL fans, show your team pride at discover.com/NHL card.
Sunday night is for the young and the hungry.
The rookie touchdown.
Sunday night is football night on NBC. Sunday night is for the young and the hungry.
Have you ever seen a rookie start a career like that? The rookie touchdown.
Sunday night is football night. Eagles, Cowboys on NBC. On NBC.
Great view of Martinsville Speedway. Our aerial coverage provided by our partners at Smithfield Foods. Looking down on a nearly full Martinsville Speedway. NASCAR Drive is NASCAR.com's live race day companion. You can select your in-car video or camera angle, access integrated driver stats, lap-by-lap commentary, and social conversation all in real time. You won't miss a lap when you visit NASCAR.com/drive on your personal computer now. And welcome back to the Goodies Fast Relief 500. Gorgeous day in Martinsville, Virginia. Temperature trying to climb up into the 80s. And such a historic racetrack. The train tracks running just down the back stretch, just off the back stretch here. This racetrack has been active since 1949. And Junior, I know that you're a historian of the racetrack and of all of racing, so I'm sure that a place like this holds a special place in your heart.
Oh, we love coming. We love to come here and race. Short track racing, we don't do a lot of it. Very exciting.
2x2 once again. They're coming out of turn number 4. It's Kenseth and Kyle Busch. Kenseth on the outside, the race leader. And once again, we'll see how the teammates work together. Kenseth will be able to slide just in front of the 18 of Kyle Busch, but the 22 of Joey Logano, what will he do?
He's got no choice but to race these guys pretty hard on the outside here and hope he can find a hole. It's not even beat the 18. He's going to try to work in here and see what happens. Truex having none of it.
Brad Keselowski currently in the 8th spot, and he has a tough position that he is in as he restarted on the outside. Want to listen in? Let's listen to the spotter of the 22 or the 2.
It's going to be an open behind that 47 when you exit, I think. You can get there. Nope. 88 got a good run still inside. Left corner here. Should be an opening behind the 88. It opens up right here. Down inside. Oh, I'm trying, bud. Watch the 22. No openings there. 3 and 1 to our left. Opening behind the 1, opening behind the 1, opening behind the 1, opening behind the 1. There you go.
What a helpless feeling. That was spotter coverage presented by Liberty Mutual. Helping drivers worry less. And when you're stuck on the outside, you got to be worrying.
Right, dude, talk about driver patience. Well, it's also spotter patience. It'd be really easy for a spotter to try to create a hole that's not there, trying to get their driver down. So, see, Joey Logano made that hard move. 31, you can see Newman didn't want to let that hole open, but Joey did a good job of getting in there.
Once again, the 2's on the outside, this time because the 42 of Kyle Larson moved inside of him.
Yeah, the 2 had a plan. He got to the bottom, did what he needed to do. We talk about teammates, and at times, Dale, you've said before how frustrating it can be to try to help a teammate. Well, I think that was the example. The 2 of Brad Keselowski got off turn 2 with a lot of momentum, kind of checked up to allow the 22 in. The 31 of Ryan Newman saw it. He said, nope, not going to happen. Went to the left of the 2 and got him back to the outside lane.
Yeah, definitely. The chase creates that type of situation sometimes with teammates. Can be very frustrating, especially for the position Brad was in there. But it certainly helped Joey. Now he's down in front of the 31 and clear. Brad's still struggling on the outside.
Yeah, the 5 of Casey Kane just got into the back of the 2 as they were exiting turn 4.
So I mentioned the 2 had gotten to the bottom of the racetrack, which is so difficult to do. But right here off turn 2, he kind of checks up to let the 22 get in. Well, look to the inside of the 2. The 31 knows he's going to check up. Very, very good awareness out of Ryan Newman. Knew there was going to be a run. Pulled to the left, forced the 22, or excuse me, forced the 2 into the corner on the top. Gained the position.
So Kenseth out in front. He's led 37 laps now. Kyle Busch running second. Martin Truex Jr. is third. Denny Hamlin fourth. 4 Toyotas up in the top 4 positions right now.
Fifth place is number 88, the man with 9 clocks, Jeff Gordon, quietly making his way up toward the front into good position here. Still, though, those Toyotas, they've got a pretty good lead on them.
And Junior, last year, maybe one of the greatest celebrations I think we have seen in quite some time when Jeff Gordon got the win here. May have been the most excited I have ever seen him after a win.
Yeah, well, they had gone all year without one, and they were still in great position to win that championship, and that win catapulted him into Homestead with a chance to win the title. But he loves racing here. This is one of those tracks where this is a driver's track. You feel like as a driver when you race here that you really can make a difference from behind the wheel. As much as the car is important and the team and crew, the driver feels like he is a big part of what happens here and the success you might have here. I remember when I won my clock, it was as if I'd won the Daytona 500 again. I mean, it was just, it's so hard to win here. The clock is such a unique trophy. All those drivers out there want to get one of those clocks.
And that's the key. The fact that it is so difficult here, that's why you cherish it so much. The history, the heritage, how difficult it is, all those things make you want that clock in the worst way.
And remember, Rick, a win and you're on to Miami. And I think no one knows that better than that 11 of Denny Hamlin. He has to look at these 3 races of this round of 8. He has to see Martinsville as his best opportunity. Was caught speeding, stayed patient. You saw him put the bumper to the 48. I'm sure he doesn't want to race that way, but it's time to go. And his 2 teammates, Matt Kenseth and Kyle Busch, they better look in the mirror, Jeff. They better start making some adjustments because they don't have cars right now to keep up with the 11.
The other thing everybody has to be looking at is the upcoming races. You look at Texas, Jimmy Johnson has been unbelievable at Texas. Then you look at Phoenix. Kevin Harvick has been unbelievable at Phoenix. It would not surprise anybody for those 2 drivers to win those 2 races. So this may be your best opportunity.
Yeah, the 6 other drivers might be thinking this might be the only opportunity we have of winning a race to be able to advance.
And the 48, we saw the 48 have to come down pit road. They had to do a lot of work, went way to the back. He's worked himself up to 19th now, but coming up through there is never easy. See, coming off the corner, gets off the bottom of the racetrack, gets into the side of the 43. It's hard contact again. So again, see right here, he's on the very bottom. When he leaves, he's not on the bottom any longer, gets into the side of the 43. So continue to bang that car up.
Marty.
Bit of panic down here in the 48 camp after that happened with Jimmy Johnson. They said they saw a little bit of smoke, and then they let it run for a few laps and said, oh, no more smoke, we're good to go. They almost decided to come in. Earlier, though, they had to make several repairs on this 48 car. Here's what Chad Canal said on the radio after those repairs to both the left and right side of the car.
Have we heard it, do you think? I don't know. You might have a better perspective from me. To me, it's been the same. Yeah, I mean, we haven't really done much. We haven't passed anybody or really done much. So feels like the same in here. All right, your car's fine.
And that's Chad saying the car is fine after repairing that damage. And more talking about the chassis handling of the car right there. And Chad said we really haven't made much progress. Going to be interesting to see, though, what happens on this run. Restarted 25th for that 48 car up to 18th in just a few laps since we've gone green.
Forget this run. It's going to be interesting to me the next time the 48 and the 11 line up next to one another, because that's how racing works. At some point, I have to believe in the second half of this race, there's going to be a point where the 48 and the 11 are near one another, and we will see then. Was Jimmy Johnson, does he feel he'd been wronged, or does he feel Denny Hamlin had the right to put the bumper to him?
How aggressive will the 2 be around each other? We've already seen the 11 push the 48 out of the way. Pit road penalties have already shown themselves to the 11, the 19, and the 4. The 11 has responded, though. He's back up in the top 3. How about the 19 and the 4? Still fighting back outside the top 10.
Oh, it's on now.
Time for a roll through Martinsville.
Speaking of time, give me that clock.
That's my clock.
Joey out of nowhere.
He's got me.
Geico Motorcycle.
Toyota, let's go places.
Discover Card customer service? Ma'am, this isn't a computer. Wait, you're real? With Discover Card, you can talk to a real person in the U.S. like me, anytime. Wow, this is a recording. Really? No, I'm kidding.
NHL fans, show your team pride at discover.com/NHLcard.
Sunday night is for the young and the hungry.
The rookie touchdown.
Sunday night is football night on NBC.
Through dedication and a commitment to excellence, these college golfers have earned the right to play these hallowed grounds. The top teams from this year's NCAA Golf Championships will battle in Atlanta for the East Lake Cup, Monday through Wednesday on Golf Channel.
Sunday night is for the young and the hungry.
Have you ever seen a rookie start a career like that? The rookie touchdown.
Sunday night is football night. Eagles, Cowboys on NBC.
Use inside the car right there, that knob that says AP on it, that is basically the brake bias adjuster. It can be turned to the right to put some front brake in it, turn counterclockwise to put some rear brake in it, Jeff. So something you can use inside the cockpit to help the handling of your race car.
Well, that's right, and the brake bias changes as this run goes on. The brakes get hotter and hotter, and you want to adjust typically more front brake to it as the run goes on because you gain rear brake and you actually get that wheel hop. So it can help you handling, but it also just prevents you from getting in a wreck because of that wheel hop.
I want to take a look at the Toyota driver update. As I mentioned earlier, the top 4 drivers all driving Toyotas. And we look at where Carl Edwards currently in 10th. So 1, 2, 3, 4 for Kenseth, Hamlin, Busch, and Truex Jr. and Carl Edwards back there in 10th.
We're talking about the brakes, the adjustments that you have. Some drivers also have not only the front to rear, but also maybe the close off the left rear, close off the left front, maybe even a left to right adjuster in their cars. And so one of the things that's critical is that you'll make a lot of changes with the brakes throughout the run as the car's changing, handling, and entering the corner and so forth. But also, when the caution comes out, to reset all that stuff back.
Well, how many times, Junior, are you doing that yourself, or is Greg Ives telling you to do certain things to make the car handle different?
I always tell Greg, I'm not always going to think of it first, so I always tell Greg to say, if I'm talking about the handling of the car and he has an idea, to tell me. Go ahead and tell me. If I'm not in there messing around with it, he can at least bring that up and spur me into making some changes to the car. But the critical part is resetting all that stuff for the pit stop. And also, when you have new tires, if you forget to reset that stuff, you can get that wheel hop going because you'll put rear brake in it to try to get the car free in the middle. And then when you get on new tires, you can wheel hop if you don't reset all that stuff back. I've made that mistake before.
That's one reason you'll hear those drivers from time to time, they'll say 1 round to the front. It's not because they're telling the team that they made an adjustment. They're telling the team that so that when the caution comes out, they know how many rounds he put in to help. Because listen, we forget it. We forget how many rounds we put to the front or to the rear. You've got to have somebody to remind you.
Well, so as we look on board and look back at Carl Edwards, I love this shot. It shows Carl Edwards working. You see how smooth he tries to be on the wheel, but you see his right hand right here on the right side of the steering wheel. This right here doesn't look like a radio switch to me. This actually looks like the track bar adjuster, Dale. It has kind of an up and down toggle to it. So not only can you adjust all the brake bias you talked about, but as you run currently at these short tracks, you can move the track bar up and down.
I love the track bar adjuster and what it can do for the driver inside the car. If you get behind your setup's a little bit off, you can certainly make a difference with that track bar adjuster. I probably passed more cars having the track bar adjuster as a tool. I've been able to adjust my car and improve it. When I get in traffic and I get aero tight, I can adjust the track bar to help me with that handling issue, and then reset it back as I clear.
That's another thing. You got to know where to reset it back to, though, right?
Absolutely. We're lucky we have that on the dash, so we'll know exactly where we're running the track bar as we're moving it.
Tense moment right there. You saw the 1 and the 2 car work that out. They were almost 3 wide getting into 1.
That doesn't work very well here at Martinsville. Way up the racetrack goes the 1 of Jamie McMurray.
I think he's up there on purpose. I mean, it's just so unusual to see race cars running up there, but I think Jamie's moved up there on purpose.
24. Chase Elliott running back in the 13th spot, and we continue to see the 1 and the 2 fighting for that 9th position. Jamie McMurray has it. Keselowski trying to get it. Kenza, one of his winless tracks, he's out front here.
I gotta say, I'm pretty excited about racing with you guys in the Poconos.
Me too. All of us driving with the Mobile One hood.
But even better, I booked us all Cupid suites at the Paradise Dreams Motel. Free chocolates, heart-shaped tubs, satin sheets. I can't wait.
I'm like a sponge for this stuff. I can learn it, get it, sell it. I can do this job in my sleep better than some people can do awake. I just want to make sure this brain stays in hyperdrive.
Hey, we hear you. That's why AARP created Staying Sharp. It's more than brain games. It's a personalized 360 approach to brain health with assessments and tools that can help you keep your brain sharp. If you don't think this is right for me when you think AARP, then you don't know ARP. Get to know us at aarp.org/possibilities.
Discover Card customer service? Ma'am, this isn't a computer. Wait, you're real? With Discover Card, you can talk to a real person in the U.S. like me, anytime. Wow, this is a recording. Really? No, I'm kidding.
NHL fans, show your team pride at discover.com/NHLcard.
Sunday night is for the young and the hungry.
The rookie touchdown.
Sunday night is football night on NBC.
I've invested a lot in this game, and the returns I get out are measured in reps. Competition. Sometimes it's audibles, bright lights, and celebrations. It's huddles, camaraderie, and games played.
At TD Ameritrade, we believe the best investments are the ones that matter most to you.
NASCAR on NBCSN is brought to you by Liberty Mutual Insurance, helping drivers worry less on the track and on the road. Gorgeous day in Martinsville, Virginia. Normally we don't like to show you the radar, but this is an instance where we're actually very proud of what the radar looks like right now because there is no precipitation anywhere on this radar. And Steve, the other thing is we have 2 short tracks relatively close together.
Yeah, they're only 173 miles between Bristol and Martinsville Speedway, so the opportunity to show 2, and I was worried when we were going to show the radar. Every time I've seen it this year, it's been green, but it looks perfect today.
Ideal conditions.
We're only 180 miles from Richmond, so 3 short tracks all close together.
Marty.
Rick, the next car for Matt Kenseth to put a lap down is chaser Kurt Busch. They have struggled with that 41 car all day long. And here are just a couple of statements he's made about the car. The car is numb and does nothing. He said it's like there's no sway bar in the car. And the last statement was, I cannot hang on to this thing any longer. He also said we have 2 fender rubs now that are a little disconcerting to this race team. Jeff, we talked for a while about how consistent this 41 team has been in this chase. In fact, their worst finish is 15th so far in the chase, and they've relied on that consistency. But we've also talked about their lack of speed, and they did not expect for Martinsville to be a racetrack they would struggle at. They thought it would be Texas next week where they might struggle a little bit, but clearly the 41 needs to pick it up a little bit and in danger here of going a lap down.
Yeah, they've done a really nice job of managing the situation in the chase so far, but they just haven't had the speed. They've only had 4 top 10 finishes in the last 11 races, so the speed's gone away from this team, and it had not found it yet today.
another driver who doesn't seem to have found something is the 4 of Kevin Harvick. Kelly?
He was running fourth, Rick, when he got hit with that speeding penalty, but had worked his way back up as high as 13th. But right now he's struggling a little bit with his car. Said he lost his turn and his rear drive, so he has dropped back several positions, running 19th right now. He's actually been one of the best short track drivers this season. 3 top 5 finishes, more than any other driver, but has yet to get a top 5 finish here at Martinsville since joining Stewart-Haas Racing. And when I talked to his crew chief, Rodney Childers, about that, he said, the thing is, we're super fast for about the first 300 laps, but as the track rubbers up, we just tend to get way too tight. He was hoping that with the warmer weather this weekend and that warmer weather they had in practice, then be able to adjust better for it this race. But right now, he's already struggling. We're on lap 261 of 500.
This racetrack's been a tough racetrack, and if we look at the chase drivers, the situation this track's put them in 14, 7 of 8 had issues. Last year, 6 of 8 had issues. This year, we've already had 3 with speeding penalties. We're just over halfway. Quite possibly, there's more trouble coming as well.
You're right, just over the halfway point, 261 laps complete, 239 to go, and Kurt Busch in the 41, looking like he might be going a lap down here soon as the 20 of Matt Kenseth looks to the inside.
Well, we talk a lot about companies, and we talk a lot about the Joe Gibbs cars running towards the front. Well, look at the opposite of that. You have Danica Patrick in the 10 getting passed by the leader. The 41 of Kurt Busch getting lapped just in front of these. A handful of cars is Kevin Harvick running in the 19th position. Tony Stewart back at 24. So none of the Stewart-Haas Chevrolet is running very well here today.
With this outside lane coming in, though, you wonder how hard Kurt's going to be able to battle the 20 car. We've seen that outside on corner exit work really well. Will Kurt push this issue and try to keep within distance of the 20? But right now, he's got to just work to stay the first car a lap down. That's what the goal is now. Now the 20's by, stay the first car a lap down.
He's got a pretty good distance till the next car, Eric Almirola. Before Eric gets lapped, he's got a little bit of time there.
And Junior, that's now what the race is all about. The intensity, I know it sounds silly, but that intensity to stay the first car a lap down, that is huge, isn't it?
It is. It's important in a place like this. You want to be able to get back into the lead lap as soon as you can, get that lucky dog opportunity as soon as you can, or get the wave around. There's just not many opportunities. This race is halfway over, and these guys are already just now going a lap down, so they're going to have to work really hard in these next 240 laps to try to figure out how to get back into a reasonable finish.
Well, as we watch all these Joe Gibbs Toyotas trying to put cars a lap down, another car that I think has made improvements has been this 88. We've been looking at lap times, Dale. This 88 has been very quick the last 20 laps or so.
Yeah, it's no surprise. Jeff Gordon, so smooth here. Obviously, they must have made a few adjustments to help Jeff because his car's gotten a little more competitive. He's been the fastest car on the track 10 of the last 20 laps.
And we've talked about how dominant the 88 driver, Jeff Gordon, has been. 9 career wins at Martinsville. That's the most among the active drivers. He has been dominant at this racetrack. Sprint's network reliability now within 1% of Verizon. Switch today. Save 50% on those Verizon, AT&T, or T-Mobile rates. You can visit a Sprint store or sprint.com/network today. Kenseth still out front. I mentioned earlier, this is one of the tracks that he has not won on, trying to change that statistic today.
Sir, this alien life form is growing at an alarming rate.
Growing fast, you say?
We can't contain it any longer.
You know, that reminds me of how Geico's been the fastest growing auto insurer for over 10 years straight.
Over 10 years?
Mm-hmm. Geico's the company your friends and neighbors trust.
And deservedly so.
Indeed.
Geico. Expect great savings and a whole lot more.
Toyota, let's go places.
Discover Card. Hey, I heard you guys can help me with fraud protection.
Sure, we help with fraud protection.
If there are unauthorized purchases on your Discover Card,
You're never held responsible.
you are saying frog protection. Fraud. Frog. Fraud. I think we're on the same page.
NHL fans, show your team pride at discover.com/NHL card.
Sunday night is for the young and the hungry.
The rookie touchdown.
Sunday night is football night on NBC.
Morning, everyone. Welcome to Today. It is Halloween.
Our costume reveal is going to be epic.
If you're in the neighborhood, come on down to the plaza and join the fun.
Oh, watch it, buddy.
We're ready for the big reveal.
I've invested a lot in this game, and the returns I get out are measured in reps. Competition. Sometimes it's audibles, bright lights, and celebrations. It's huddles, camaraderie, and games played.
At TD Ameritrade, we believe the best investments are the ones that matter most to you.
Tonight, Sunday Night Football, live from Arlington, Texas. Carson Wentz and the Eagles visit Dak Prescott and the Cowboys. Dan Patrick, Mike Tirico host Football Night in America beginning at 7 p.m. Eastern, only on NBC. Welcome back to Sprint Cup Series racing in Martinsville. This telecast presented by NASCAR Heat Evolution. Marty.
Rick, can you imagine being in Jeff Gordon's house when it strikes noon? He has 9 grandfather clocks, right at a 10th to it, and he's been awfully quick, as you guys were mentioning a moment ago. Today is his 805th career start. I asked him this morning, is it the last one? He said, he choked. He said, well, I thought Homestead Miami last year was the last one. He said, but I think this is definitely the last start for me. He said, but you know what? There's been so much fun in this 88 car this year, getting this car ready for Dale Earnhardt Jr. next year, continuing to progress this team, continuing to make us better. Sure, I would love to finish with a win, but that's been very gratifying for me, and I've learned a lot behind the wheel this year. So, Junior, Jeff Gordon's trying to get your car ready for next year, and he said he's going to do all he can to make sure it's good for next April when you show up here at Martinsville.
Yeah, that's one important thing about this team is that we need to continue to compete, go out there and run well. Jeff's an amazing driver, probably the best substitute guy can have, I imagine, and especially at Martinsville. So we're definitely not going to miss a beat when it comes to Martinsville, and that's important for all the rest of the tracks throughout the rest of the season. So when we get in the car in February, it's as if we never left.
You've done a great job of watching, and it seems like you're comfortable watching. Is it weird watching your car go around the racetrack?
Yeah, for the longest time, I didn't know whether I'd like it or not, but I can't stay away, and I obviously want to be here with Jeff's success. Opportunity that he may win this race, to be able to see my guys enjoy that. We got a big group of guys. This whole situation's been challenging for the team, so for them to get a win, it's like when you get knocked out of the chase early. If you can get a win late in the race, it's a big boost to the morale of the team going into the off season. So this would be great for these guys if they can get a win here or at any of the remaining tracks on the schedule.
And again, knowing that this will be the last race for Jeff Gordon, another one that's making his last Martinsville start in race is the 14 of Tony Stewart's. We watch the 4 of Kevin Harvick continue to fall back.
And Rick, I know the 4 has probably the most impressive streak of any racetrack when they go to Phoenix, winning 5 of the last 6, but they cannot continue to put themselves behind. We see again, race 1 of this round, not running where they need to in the 21st position, while there is still a ton of racing left, 217 laps to go. Jeff, at some point, they're going to put themselves in a hole they cannot dig out of.
Yeah, that's right. You can't keep making those last race comebacks. It will catch up to you. This is the longest run of the day at 77 laps, and it has not suited this 4 car at all. Right now, he's a first car lap down, but right in front of the 20 car is Michael McDowell in that black number 95. The minute the 20 gets to the 95 and puts him a lap down, Kevin Harvick will no longer be the first car lap down. He wants a caution right now.
Yeah, talking about Harvick's troubles, you got to give McDowell a tip of the cap running in the top 20 right now. Very competitive.
The 95, Michael McDowell, the next car to go a lap down, but it's Matt Kenseth out in front. Kenson, the 44-year-old out of Cambridge, Wisconsin, looking to win at Martinsville.
This is the new 2017 Chevy Cruze. I'm only going to show you half of it. What do you think?
I think it looks very sleek.
The lights remind me of Audi lights.
And it starts at $22,190.
Nice.
But there's another.
Toyota, let's go places.
Hey, it's Erin again, back with some quick tips for turning an empty space into a stunning gallery wall. First, select pieces that follow a theme, like metallics or florals. Variety, like colors, medium shapes, keeps things interesting. Start with your big showstopper in the center at eye level, and then work out to fill the space. Here's another beauty. With the Bank AmeriCard Cash Rewards credit card, you'll earn 1% cash back on every purchase with no hoops to jump through. Up next, a quick fix for brightening up any room.
Sunday night is for the young and the hungry.
The rookie touchdown.
Sunday night is football night on NBC.
It's time to listen in. Sights and sounds that get you closer to the game. Brought to you by Bose, the official sound of the NFL.
Let's go. Let's go. About that time to light it up. Let's go. About that time to light up. One play at a time. One snap at a time. Let's go. Come on, man. Dominate. Make plays. Let's ball today, right? 1, 2, 3. Dominate. Let's go. Hogs on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Bose gets you closer to the game. And Bose Quiet Comfort 35 wireless headphones get you closer to your music.
Sunday night is for the young and the hungry.
Have you ever seen a rookie start a career like that? The rookie touchdown.
Sunday night is football night. Eagles, Cowboys on NBC.
Favorite driver's gear. Welcome back to the Goodies 500 from Martinsville Speedway.
We're just watching this battle here for the lead. I thought that Matt Kenseth was moving over to let the 11 car by, but actually he's just trying to protect his position. So this is a true battle for position here for the lead of the race. Old 20 cars trying to get around these lap cars, still trying to lap Michael McDowell. Harvick still the lucky dog. Mears goes a lap down here. That'll make him the lucky dog.
Mears has to battle right here. People say, well, he's a lap down. Why is he fighting the leader so hard? It's his race, too. It's his opportunity. This racetrack belongs to him just as much as it does the leader.
Yeah, it's a tough balance when how do you race the chase guys.
That's right.
When you're out there trying to perform. And I think that the guys that aren't in the chase actually have a little chip on their shoulder. But they're not one of those guys getting that special treatment. So they're going to
see the 38 in the wall?
Yep,
Hit the wall.
38.
Almost came across and got the 20.
Landon Castle has some damage to the right side now.
Yeah, but you're right. You do have a chip on your shoulder. When you're not in the chase, you feel like you don't belong. Like everybody's out there racing for something you don't have a chance to race for. It's a horrible feeling.
Now Denny Hamlin's trying to fight to the outside of that 38. And Hamlin will also try to get by Casey Mears in the 13. Take another look at what happened to the 38 here.
Looks like he just drove it in the fence. I don't think that he was actually out of shape coming off the corner.
McDowell also right up against the wall as the 38 in front of him.
Maybe just trying to give those leaders a little extra room.
And the 11 now looking to the inside of the 13 to put him behind him. I want to listen into Carl Edwards' radio, the 19, just moments ago.
That's crazy. This may be completely crazy. But that's where I see a ton of brake dust on the right front. It's not glowing. I don't know which set to monitor it. Well, that's hard to believe with the black wheels and everything. I'm just letting you know it looks different. South Colorado battery should be fine here. It's our longest run.
I mentioned this being the longest green flag run. They've already gone 92 laps of green flag racing. They talked about the brake dust. We want to look at the NASCAR Heat Evolution animation. And and talk a little bit about brakes.
Yeah, we talk about the braking system on these cars. They have so much work to do to try to slow down from 120 miles an hour down to 60 miles an hour. They do it with basically a disc-type system. So you see right here, the brake pads get compressed onto that disc. That creates a tremendous amount of heat. And that heat is designed to dissipate through the rotor, Jeff. As that rotor spins, it pulls the heat out of it, but unfortunately, it puts it into the wheel and into the tire. That can be a concern.
It can be a major concern, and I can tell you all the crew chiefs and the drivers are worried about it right now on this 94-lap run because that heat goes directly into the sidewall of the tire, and you can actually melt what's called melt the bead. The tire actually melts where it's attached to the wheel. We have big smoke from someone, not sure who that was from, but that it can actually melt the tire, and the tire blows out, and obviously that's a major problem.
Seen a lot of smoke out of the 3 of Austin Dillon. That NASCAR Heat Evolution is in stores now. You can pick up your copy today as we see the damage to the left rear of the 3. Take a look at how it happened.
It's a common situation at Martinsville, coming off the corner, down the inside, getting into the left rear quarter panel. This happens all the time, but this is a severe rub, and I don't think this one's going to last very long.
No, it's not. It's getting worse, too. Sometimes these tire rubs seem like they get better, but this one actually looks like it's getting worse.
We're watching it here, still inside.
I say watching it. One thing Austin doesn't want to have happen right now is that tire go away and he spins into the wall and ends his day.
Such a tough call. It's just so difficult to know when to pit or when not to pit.
Well, it's even tougher here because the length of pit road at 30 miles an hour, if you pit under green here at Martinsville, you lose a lap, you lose multiple laps.
And how far away are we from pitting under green?
Well, you figure under green, we've run 97 laps. You expect they can go about 140, 135 on fuel. So, you're 30 to 40 laps away from seeing green flag pit stops. So if they can just get close, maybe pit 10 early, everybody else will be forced to come. We'll just have to see how it works out.
And it's been a long time since we've had green flag pit stops. I think Dale Jr. mentioned earlier that it was Kenny Schrader was probably still racing the last time we saw those.
Okay, anyone like come?
Toyota, let's go places.
Hey y'all, we're back. Whenever we tackle a renovation, there's always a room that's a little too dark.
Use this to brighten it up. Attach to the back of an old window frame and hang wherever you need to lighten up.
Much better.
This is better too. With the Bank of America Cash Rewards credit card, you'll earn 1% cash back on everything you need to lighten up.
Visit the link for more great tips.
Sunday night is for the young and the hungry.
A rookie touchdown.
Sunday night is football night on NBC.
Morning, everyone. Welcome to today. It is Halloween.
Our costume reveal is going to be epic.
If you're in the neighborhood, come on down to the plaza and join the fun.
Oh, watch it, buddy.
We're ready for the big reveal.
Through dedication and a commitment to excellence, these college golfers have earned the right to play these hallowed grounds. The top teams from this year's NCAA Golf Championships will battle in Atlanta for the East Lake Cup, Monday through Wednesday on Golf Channel.
Matt Kenseth has had success at short tracks, but not at Martinsville. He has 6 career short track wins, but none of those have come at this racetrack. Sprint's network reliability now within 1%. Verizon switch today and save 50% on most Verizon, AT&T, or T-Mobile rates. Visit a Sprint store or sprint.com/network today. And let's listen in to Matt Kenseth radio.
Looks like it's got a little rub there from about 10 o'clock to 2 o'clock. A little rub on the lettering on the right rear tire.
All right. Talking about a little bit of tire rub. potentially on the right rear.
Yeah, I've seen that damage has been there for quite a while. I don't think this is a real issue for the 20. It's definitely tight on that quarter panel.
And so Martin Truex Jr. led 147 laps, and now Kenseth has led 136 and counting, as Kenseth continuing to pace the field. And we had talked a little bit as we take a look at this little bit of contact here between Kenseth and Ryan Newman. Talked a little bit about the possibility of green flag pit stops. 109 green flag laps currently. We mentioned the pit window for fuels is going to be around 140 to 150 laps. So I'm sure teams right now are starting to think we better start planning for green flag pit stops.
We might have some guys already having trouble with the beads that you talked about, Jeff. The 13's been on pit road with a flat right front. A couple other guys, back markers, have come down pit road early to get tires.
Kenseth put the fender to 21 right there.
He wasn't going to be patient. It was time for him to get by the 21, and so he put the fender to it.
Those younger guys, you can do that if you're a veteran. You can move those younger guys out of the way without any repercussions, as you see.
Let's take a look at the McDonald's all-day pit strategy.
Well, Jeff, you and I are up here. We're discussing what are the options for a pit strategy here on a green flag pit stop. We don't see them very often. Should they short pit? Normally at a big track, we say, yeah, come to pit road early, get your tires. You're way faster on the racetrack. But the risk of a caution coming out here and losing multiple laps, I think is higher than coming to pit road.
Risk versus reward. Kevin Harvick, Kurt Busch, both struggling. Kurt Busch 23rd, Kevin Harvick 20th. Could they come in, pit early, take a lot of speed, get themselves back in the lead lap? If no caution comes out, that'd be a great play. But if the caution comes out, it will end their day and perhaps put them in a hole they can't dig out of for the rest of the championship.
Both of them currently a lap down. As you mentioned, Harvick running 21st, a lap down. Kurt Busch running 23rd, also a lap down.
Well, he's getting to go 2 laps down. So, you know, this is getting to the point where they're going to have to do something. They're going to have to. They've gotten through this chase by being consistent and by doing all those small things right. But this speed that they've lost is really hurting them in this racetrack. So his crew chief, Tony Gibson, is he going to have to get out of his comfort zone and do something he would not normally do, and that is pit early?
Well, and why do they pit early? Well, this is going to seem odd, but if you look at the 7 of Regan Smith was on pit road a few laps ago, but he drove by the 24 like it was easy. Look at him at the 42 and Kyle Larson. This 7 has newer tires. He's going to easily go by the 42 of Kyle Larson, dispose of him, and drive through the field. So the 7 right now, his pace is currently almost 0.4 of a second faster than our leader. So think of how much time he's making up.
Yeah, I believe if I'm Tony Gibson on the 41 pit box, I'm pitting him. I'm going here 5 or 6 more laps, and I'm going to pit him, and I'm going to try to make something happen. Because I don't think I have the speed going to Phoenix or going to Texas to race my way in. And right now, running 23rd, I'm just afraid of digging a hole I'm never going to get out. So that is not Tony's personality. He's not a gambler. We'll see if this forces him to be one.
And they're going to have to gamble. They don't have the speed to advance. They're going to have to do something to earn their way into the championship 4.
And we may see green flag pit stops coming up right after these breaks.
Iced tea?
What's with these people, man? Lemonade. Read the sign. Lemonade.
Okay.
Delicious.
Iced tea at a lemonade stand? Surprising. What's not surprising? How much money Marin saved by switching to Geico.
If Carl wins today, I'm going to do a backflip.
Maybe when you're dreaming.
Guys, I'm telling you, I can do a backflip. Yeah, I've seen Carl do it a million times.
Well, that's neighborly.
Enough. You're good, man.
That is a banner.
Hand me one of the wings. Nice one. Yeah, that's good.
Toyota. Let's go places.
All right, dude, you got this.
You gotta stick the landing. Hey, man, you want a wing?
Sunday night is for the young and the hungry.
The rookie touchdown.
Sunday night is football night on NBC. Sunday night is for the young and the hungry.
a career like that. The rookie touchdown.
Sunday night is football night. Eagles, Cowboys on NBC.
Morning, everyone. Welcome to Today. It is Halloween.
Our costume reveal is going to be epic.
If you're in the neighborhood, come on down to the plaza and join the fun.
Oh, watch it, buddy.
We're ready for the big reveal.
I've invested a lot in this game, and the returns I get out are measured in reps. Competition. Sometimes it's audibles, bright lights, and celebrations. It's huddles, camaraderie, and games played.
At TD Ameritrade, we believe the best investments are the ones that matter most to you.
Credit card of NASCAR. And by NASCAR Heat Evolution. Now $49.99 for PS4, Xbox One, and PC. 125 laps of green flag racing. 332 complete. That leaves 168 to go. If you do the math and they stay out, they could split this in half. We could continue green the whole way with only one more pit stop.
Yeah, well, these Gibbs cars, they have so much more pace than everybody does. It's 167 laps to go, and it's only 14 cars in the lead lap. But the guy that's running 14th, let's give a shout out to Greg Biffle. This team has struggled all year long, come to a very difficult racetrack, having a very solid run, running in front of a lot of really good race teams. So solid day so far for Biffle.
Well, and another team we haven't talked about, but they've continued to run inside the top 10, if not the top 5 for most of the day, is A.J. Allmendinger in the 7th position. He's finished second here in April. His 2 best oval finishes came here. He's finished second here twice. So if you take away his road course victory, this is statistically his best track, especially when it comes to ovals, running really well again today. Mike?
And Steve, it is an oval, but his crew chief Randall Burnett quick to point out that it drives a lot like a road course. And of course, A.J. Allmendinger, a road course ace, if you will. And when he compares the two, what he's talking about is the fact that he's able to manage his brakes so well. He knows when to push them, knows when to cool them. He knows how to take care of his tires at the same time, and that may be the key to his success here in Martinsville. Also, Burnett said, what we need to see today is long runs. He's certainly gotten that.
He's talking about brakes, knowing when to save them, when to run hard. When you get a little time, get a little gap between you and the car in front of you and the car behind you, you can start lifting at the flag stand, using a lot less brake, and not even alter the lap time.
That's right.
You're just saving the car, saving the brakes. When I first came here, I had a lot of race-winning race cars, but never finished good races with them. And that was because I ran at 110% from the very beginning of the race. And by the end of the race, I didn't have the brakes, the stopping power, and then my car wouldn't turn in the middle of the corner because I couldn't slow it down.
What's crazy is when you start lifting that early, and they're giving you lap times, you actually start going faster. You're like, well, why have I been driving so hard? Maybe it's easier if I just slow down. Another team's having a good day. Casey Kane continuing their resurgence, continuing to find a way to run toward the front. A good solid day so far for Casey Kane as well.
The gap between the 20 and the 11, Matt Kenseth and Denny Hamlin, has shrunk now. It's about a half a second separating the two.
And his teammate Kyle Busch in third, he's right there. These 3 cars really have been on the same straightaway this entire run.
Marty.
While we're in the mode of giving out a call to drivers, just give out a call to Jimmy Johnson, the 48 team. They started this run 132 laps ago in 25th. They have driven up to the 10th position and have been the fastest car here at the end of this run. So we're now 123 laps into this run, and we can go about 133 laps into this run. We can go about 155 laps all told. So about 20 more laps until we'll see green flag pit stops. So the answer to the trivia question, 4 years since we've seen green flag stops here at Martinsville in the fall of 2012. I know these drivers are exhausted inside the car. And Jeff, we've talked about it this week. When it's hot here at Martinsville like this, it gets exhausting inside that race car, doesn't it? Especially on a long run like this.
Yeah, Marty, it does. Junior, I've made the comment several times this weekend that I think this racetrack, when it's hot, is very, very hot. It's Indy in here because you're sealed off to the racetrack. The cars here are going slow. All the brake temp, all the transmission temp, all the rear end temp, they're hotter here than everywhere else, and it just soaks into the chassis, and then the inside of the car is just so hot, very physically demanding.
Big question will be, if Jimmy Johnson gets back to the bumper of the 11, what will he do? We saw earlier what Denny Hamlin would do. Denny Hamlin moved the 48 out of the way.
If Carl wins today, I'm going to do a backflip.
Maybe when you're dreaming.
Guys, I'm telling you, I can do a backflip. Yeah, I've seen Carl do it a million times.
Well, that's neighborly.
Enough. You're good, man.
That is a banner.
Hand me one of the wings. Nice one. Yeah, that's good.
Toyota. Let's go places.
All right, dude, you got this.
You gotta stick the landing. Hey, man, you want a wing?
Hey guys, it's Erin Napier here with my husband Ben in Bank of America to show you how to make beautiful decor on a budget. Give this a quick coat of paint, a few holes, and some rope for hanging. Fill with your favorite plants and you've got an instant indoor garden.
Want more green? Use the Bank of America Card Cash Rewards credit card to earn 1% cash back on all your DIY supplies.
Next, we'll show you how to turn an empty wall into a work of art.
This just in, Wendy's announces a new Swiss Junior Bacon Cheeseburger as an option with the 4 for $4 for a limited time. With 4 nuggets, fries, and a drink for just $4, the Swiss Junior Bacon Cheeseburger. Now back to America.
Through dedication and a commitment to excellence, these college golfers have earned the right to play these hallowed grounds. The top teams from this year's NCAA Golf Championships will battle in Atlanta for the East Lake Cup, Monday through Wednesday on Golf Channel.
You're watching Sprint Cup Series racing in Martinsville. Telecast presented by NASCAR Heat Evolution. Kenseth, Hamlin, and Kyle Busch. 3 Joe Gibbs Racing drivers that have almost looked as though they know exactly what the other is going to do. Kenseth and Hamlin, Kyle Busch, all running in the top 3 for most of this race. Jeff Gordon holding on to the 4th spot. Martin Truex Jr. in 5th. Good battle for the 4th position heating up here between Jeff Gordon and Martin Truex Jr.
Yeah, these guys really haven't lost a ton of time over this long green flag period. You expect the gaps to change a lot more, but Jeff's car is pretty competitive compared to the other Toyotas. We've seen the 78 be very fast all day long, so this is no surprise, but Jeff's car seems very competitive as well. Just behind them, Brad Keselowski is also in closing in on this battle with a competitive car too. So even though we're seeing the top 3 Gibbs cars, it looks choreographed how they're running. It looks like it's so easy. There's a couple guys back here behind them that I think still have a shot at upsetting this brigade.
Well, and I would add Jimmy Johnson to that list. Restarted 25th after that issue with the 11. They had to have a long pit stop to beat out the fenders, and he's driven all the way to the 10th position, closing in on Carl Edwards for 9th. So while it's easy to forget about a car like the 48 with 147 to go, they better keep that on mind. And it seems like we have the first car coming to pit road. The 42 of Kyle Larson has hit pit road. It looks like all the tires are up. So this must be a scheduled pit stop for the 42 of Kyle Larson.
I believe green flag pit stops are getting underway here as the 16 of Greg Biffle also has come to pit road, and a great battle heating up here, the 78 and the 88.
And the 4 car just hit pit road.
Kelly.
And Kevin Harvick struggling on that last long green flag run. He said he went through his right rear tire too quickly. He said it's just flat back there. He also said that he is tight through the center. We'll see what 4 fresh Goodyear tires do for Kevin Harvick.
88 locked his tires up coming to pit road. May have been coming in a little bit hot. Dave.
Here comes Joey Logano running 8th on this run. Fell back a couple spots, picked up a couple spots. Mainly during this run, he said the car has been turning well. I just need more help with the drive off. You can see the slow pit road speed here for safety with all these pit crews working on these race cars. Now he finally rolls into the pit stall. He'll get 4 tires, an air pressure adjustment, and a chassis adjustment, Mike.
Matt Kenseth has led over 170 laps so far this afternoon. A very good race car. Still to make a chassis adjustment and 4 tires on the 20 car. Matt Kenseth looking for his first career Martinsville victory. He's off pit road. A very quick pit stop.
12.5 seconds. And just that quickly, the caution has come out. 19.
He has a flat right front tire.
Yeah, he didn't hit the commitment line, but he decided to come to pit road because he knew he had to fix the tire.
Well, we talked about those melted beads. That's exactly what this looks like. Yeah, I see some damage on the fender. I'm not sure if that came before or after the right front tire went flat. He was running 9th right before they started to pit under green flag conditions.
Yeah, bent up the fender. There's a lot of fender damage.
Yeah, that's definitely that's a lot of damage. You got to. Here's the replay.
So on board right here, oh, that looks like a melted bead for sure. It just goes straight, and that is some heavy contact. I don't think that's just sheet metal damage.
No,
that is
that's big
heavy contact.
And again, Carl Edwards, one of the chase drivers, now having an issue. His teammate Denny Hamlin was speeding earlier on pit road. Now Carl Edwards with this damage. You see, yeah, the sparks coming out of the right front.
Clear. That's what's scary about pitting early here. We talked about having that gamble, knowing the possibility of melting a bead. It's not unusual to do that. So Jimmy Johnson did not hit pit road. McMurray, Hamlin, Kyle Busch, none of those guys hit pit road.
That's such a helpless feeling getting into the corner like that when the right front blows out.
So they're working on the 19. The one thing that the drivers that came to pit road will have as an option is the wave around. Everybody is going to have to, if they hadn't come to pit road yet, everybody's going to have to come to pit road just because of fuel. And of course, that was the longest green flag run that we've had here for quite some time. So they'll all be coming to pit road. The wave around is going to come into play.
The wave around absolutely is going to come into play. The big winners in this whole situation, A.J. Allmendinger, he's going to come wherever he comes out. Perhaps if he beats him off pit road, he'll be the leader. The 48 behind him, he's in second. McMurray, the 1 car, also in great shape. Then you have to go all the way back to Denny Hamlin, who's already serviced his pace or his car. He's going to end up taking the wave around. Perhaps it's going to come down to where the caution car is and where all these cars are scored versus the cars that have already pitted. The 11 is on the lead lap. So is it Kyle Busch, so is it Matt Kenseth, but they're behind some of the other cars, so we're going to have to let pit road open, let the field cycle through, and then we'll be able to explain who takes the wave around and who does not.
And typically in NASCAR in this situation, they'll wait a little bit. They'll try to get it sorted out before they open pit road, get things in order, and then open pit road. 19 car going behind the wall. As you mentioned, Steve, that was big damage.
Yeah, 2 guys that really suffered for this yellow that were actually on the lead lap before they pitted. Casey Kane and Chase Elliott are now 2 laps down. So when they take the wave around,
that's right,
they're only getting 1 back of the 2.
This is big implications right here. Now this puts, right now that Carl Edwards and his team, they're almost going to have to go and win one of the next 2 races if they're going to advance.
Again, only 1 driver potentially would get in based upon points into the championship 4 if during these 3 races you have a chase driver win.
So the other big issue you have right here is, let's look, we have Allmendinger, Johnson, McMurray yet to pit. Big break for them. But there's other cars that have pitted. Huge break. Denny Hamlin in 4th is all the way back here. You see him coming into screen now. He will be the leader of the race because the cars in front of him will come to pit road. The 11 and the 18 will stay on the racetrack. They will assume the race lead. Everyone in front of Denny Hamlin 1 lap down can take the wave around. So big break for Jimmy Johnson. Also a good break for Denny Hamlin.
But if they take the wave around, they're going to have to be at the back of the field. And here at Martinsville, if you restart at the back, you're in jeopardy of going a lap down a lot quicker.
Hey, I think we got cars out of fuel. The 48 car is on the back straightaway, stopped. 47 car is on pit road. Marty.
48 is out of fuel. He said, I have no fuel pressure. And I was watching Chad Canals, and his eyes lit up. Also, A.J. Allmendinger going by me. He is out of fuel as well. He asked him to switch a flip inside the car. Jimmy said, I already did that under caution. So out of fuel here for the 48 of Jimmy Johnson, who had worked his way back in the top 10. Now you can see the car is refired. He's telling him to pit right now, and he missed pit road. So he's going to have to come back around once again and pit.
And the 48s was racing around one of the safety vehicles that was on the track, and I think that was probably the reason why he couldn't come to pit road at that time.
So are you blue on 2 now, and if fuel pressure came back? Yes, I'm solid 76. Turn 2, you want him in?
The problem is pit road.
Save fuel max.
Pit road is still closed. They don't want to be on pit road while pit road is closed. But if you run out of fuel again, you're going to be in big trouble.
So these teams implement a strategy in their fueling system. You see there's still some confusion on the radio with the 48. Chad and Jimmy are trying to diagnose the issue.
We're pit this time, man. I'm not taking any chances.
So even if pit road is not open, which right now it still is not open, they are going to pit.
You don't know.
Marty.
Chad Canals has told him to pit. Jimmy just said, I'm managing it well as the best I can inside the car. He said, I think I can manage it here. I made a mistake inside the car. It's my fault. They have a reserve switch. They can flip a reserve switch and get a little more fuel inside the engine. And he has told Chad Canals, now I think I'm fine to be able to come in. Chad's not happy with NASCAR. That's what he was saying. He's like, pit road should be open by now. That's his issue with things. He thinks pit road should be open and the 48 should be able to pit with an open pit road. You see Jimmy trying to manage that fuel situation inside the car, shutting off the car when he can, trying to keep pace car speed as well.
Yeah, we talked about it. The reason pit road's not open is because NASCAR wants to sort this scoring situation out before they open pit road.
And I think we have another car out of gas. A 13 of Casey Mears has slowed to a stop getting into turn 1.
He might be waiting for cars to go by, though, if NASCAR's telling him a position to be in. We'll see if he gets to roll at all. He does not.
If I'm the 48, I'm pitting. I'm not taking this chance. I would just hit pit road and make sure I don't have a problem.
It's not a chance. So Marty explained that they have a reserve system. You have 2 pickups in the fuel cell, 2 fuel pumps. You could put them in different locations and have only 1 run or versus 2 run. If Jimmy Johnson had the switch in the wrong position, he's not going to tell the world that. But what he's telling Chad Canals is, hey, it's on me. It's on me. I ran it out of gas. I fixed the issue. He doesn't need any more detail than that. He knows what he's doing. He stayed on the racetrack, but he has given up track position.
Pit road is now open, so we'll see everyone dive, well, at least the ones that have not come to pit road yet. We'll see them dive onto pit road now that pit road is open.
The funny thing is, there's not that many anymore.
You are pitting this time.
So the lead lap cars are allowed to come to pit road once pit road opens, and those will include, we'll see as they dive down to the bottom here.
Now the 48 by staying out when he's supposed to pit.
Jamie McMurray.
He will be starting with the leaders. He won't have to start at the tail end of the lead lap. That's why they were trying to wait.
Denny Hamlin stays on the track, does not elect to pit. So the guys behind him are going to be trapped a lap down.
Marty.
After all that, Jimmy Johnson will make it to pit road in 4th position under his own power. How about that? So they come in, they're going to take 4 fresh Goodyear tires here. Obviously pack it with Sunoco fuel as well for Johnson. He said, again, the car very good on the long run. You see the wedge adjustments on both sides. Said it was too tight early in the run, and that was the problem. And because they're one of the few cars on pit road, taking their time, making sure the left front and the right front are correct, slapping a piece of tape on the front grille as well. Chad Canals holding him here, just double checking that front end damage. Now they send the 48 back out. Eventful few minutes, wasn't it, Rick?
Absolutely. As the 1 and the 48 are making their way off of pit road, a few cars staying out. Denny Hamlin really setting the pace now.
Oh, it's on. I gotta say, I'm pretty excited about racing with you guys in the Poconos.
Me too. All of us driving with the Mobil 1 hood.
But even better, I booked us all Cupid suites at the Paradise Dreams Motel. Great chocolates, heart-shaped tubs, satin sheets. I can't wait.
Last season's #1 new drama is back.
Someone did this to me.
If you missed episodes, catch up now on the NBC app.
This organization is planning its biggest attack yet.
There's hidden letters, random numbers. It's a treasure map.
The first clue unlocks the second.
Safety and security of this entire nation hangs in the balance.
Let's make them pay.
Blind Spot, all new, Wednesdays at its new time, 8/7 Central on NBC.
Sunday night is for the young and the hungry.
The rookie touchdown.
Sunday night is football night on NBC. Sunday night
is for the young and the hungry.
Have you ever seen a rookie start a career like that? The rookie touchdown.
Sunday night is football night. Eagles, Cowboys on NBC.
And welcome back to Martinsville Speedway. This telecast presented by NASCAR Evolution. We were listening into the 20 radio. Matt Kenseth, this is the discussion they're going to have. Everyone right now is a little bit confused as to where they are, either on the lead lap or maybe at the tail end of the lead lap. Listen.
Okay. Could you explain how he could be the lucky dog if the 47 was the leader and I was right behind him?
I cannot. No, I cannot. I think we're third. I really think we're third looking at it right now. That's my judgment. We're third.
So, a few cars were on pit road under green flag conditions. While they were on pit road getting their service done, the caution comes out. So some were trapped a lap down. Others feel like they're still on the lead lap. There are going to be 21 wave around cars that are going to take advantage of the wave around to try to get back on the lead lap or get a lap back if they were 2 laps down.
All right, so it's very complicated, but basically when the caution comes out, you have to be scored to either the start, finish, or to pit out. Well, where the 20 of Matt Kenseth, the 18 of Kyle Busch are pitting, it comes to pit out. There's Kyle Busch. He's cross pit out. Here comes A.J. Allmendinger. He beats Matt Kenseth to the pit out, therefore putting the 20 down a lap. That is how the 20 got down a lap. That's forcing him to take the wave around. It became more complicated when the 47 pitted when pit road was closed. That's going to be a penalty on the 47, but fortunately for the 20, he's going to take this wave around. The big winner in all this, in my mind, it's still the 48. He did a great job of not needing to pit when pit road was closed, didn't get the penalty, and because of that, he will line up outside second row.
Remember, Kenseth was leading when he pitted, and the 11 and the 18 beat him off pit road.
That's
so
right.
a bad pit stop or something happened on pit road that was slow with Kenseth, and that allowed the 18 and the 11 to get in front of him.
Chase continues next weekend on NBC at Texas Motor Speedway. The Xfinity Series returns to the track Saturday. Coverage begins at 3:30 p.m. Eastern. The Sprint Cup Series moves to race 2 in the round of 8 coverage next Sunday, starting at 1 p.m. Eastern on NBC. This lap is being done without the luxury of pace car, at least a portion of it. Pace car had gone to pit road expecting the restart there.
So it's very complicated because cars are in different positions. There's lap down cars in the way, but here's the simple fact. You have Denny Hamlin, Kyle Busch on the front row, Jimmy Johnson, Jamie McMurray in row 2, and then there are lap down cars. But if you look at the scoring, Matt Kenseth is in 5th, Jeff Gordon in 6th, Truex 7th, Keselowski 8th, Logano, another chaser in 9th, Larson and Allmendinger round out all the cars in the lead lap, but they'll be starting back of the pack behind lap down cars.
NASCAR still doesn't like the lineup. The pace car is pulled off the racetrack, but NASCAR is waving to start off because they still don't like the lineup. You can see some lap down cars are up in front of some lead lap cars. They've just got to get it sorted out.
So here's how it works. Lead lap cars line up first, then lap down cars, then the free pass car, which was the 88 of Jeff Gordon. Then behind him, at the tail of the field, should be all of the wave around cars. The problem is that's very, very confusing, and it's important. So you see Jeff Gordon right here in the 88 trying to get forward a row because he was the free pass car. He should line up there. They got to get the 78 in the right position. Jeff Gordon says, no, this is where I need to be. The 78's trying to get in. And I applaud NASCAR for leaving the pace car out.
Oh, yes.
You can't create a point system where 3 races determine who goes for the championship, and with 127 points to go, there could be no question mark whether these cars, it's not just about the winner. You have to make sure everyone in the field is lined up where they need to be. Points are so important.
Steve, seriously, let's let the guy who's most recently been in the car explain to us how this whole rule works. Junior, go ahead and tell us why all this is happening.
Good job.
I'm kidding.
I agree with Steve that NASCAR's doing the right thing here, taking the time to let this get all sorted out. And the drivers agree with it as well. When this doesn't happen, when we don't like the lineup and NASCAR allows it to race, the drivers all are going to complain afterwards.
Absolutely.
So I like the fact that they're going to get it sorted out, get this thing correct before we go back to green. There's too much at stake here.
Well, and I think the 20 right now, Matt Kenseth, they're still frustrated because they thought they were third. And so having to take the wave around, he's still not giving up positions, and he was a wave around car.
Yeah.
Well, so NASCAR's telling them where to go. I mean, NASCAR is talking, the spotters are listening, they're saying, okay, 20 car, you should be the fourth car on the outside. So you're getting instructions, but NASCAR has to sort it as well. But we talked about the 20 car, came on pit road the leader. You see the guys he was racing second and third, they're on the front row. The difference was the 18 car was 2 seconds faster on pit road than the 20 car was. That's the difference between being on the front row and being back in 8th place.
While they're shaking all this out, let's go into the garage and Mike Massaro.
And with a championship perhaps weighing in the balance, the entire Joe Gibbs Racing team, including members from Carl Edwards, Kyle Busch, and Denny Hamlin's team here in the pits trying to work on the 19 car. Heavy damage to Carl Edwards' machine on the right side from nose to tail, not just body, but also chassis parts. They've made some adjustments as Carl sat in the race car. They're ready to roll him back out on the racetrack, trying to lose as few laps as possible and gain as many points as they possibly can here today. Carl did say to his team over the radio as he sat in the car, he said, hey guys, keep your heads up. We'll go win in Texas.
Rick, we talk about opportunities and things that have to fall your way. Well, nothing is more evident to me than the difference between the 48 and the 47. When the caution came out, the 47 was the lead, the 48 was in second. They both ran out of gas. The 48 of Jimmy Johnson stays on the racetrack, does not pit when pit road is closed, does not incur a penalty. He lines up in the third position. Look how far back we have to go to get to the 47 of A.J. Allmendinger. He pits when pit road is closed. He's only in 10th in scoring, but because of the penalty, he has to line up at the tail of the entire field, all the way at the back. Such a big shift, Marty, between two different tails of running out of gas, the 48 versus the 47.
Well, and Jack Knaus is saying the 47, while serving that penalty, still should be on the lead lap. And in his opinion, the only cars on the lead lap should be the 48, the 47, and the free pass car. He has asked NASCAR several times, I do not understand why these guys pitted under green. We pitted under caution, and they're ahead of us. He said it does not make any sense to me. He said it at least 4 times on the radio, politicking his case right now. I'm not sure he's going to get anywhere with NASCAR, but that's his point anyway.
Well, I think I could show Chad Knaus. It's really simple. The caution came out when they were on pit road, so everyone in the field slowed down. So let's go back to the pit out camera. The 47 is the leader. Here's the 18, off pit road, on the lead lap, before we see the leader of the 47 get to that line. The 11 and the 18 came on pit road. Jeff, you said it 3 times. Came on to pit road, serviced their cars faster than Matt Kenseth, faster than everyone else. When the caution came out, the leader slows down. That allows you to be on pit road a little bit longer. That saved the lap. So I understand Chad's confusion, but that camera shot convinces me NASCAR has it right. Denny Hamlin, Kyle Busch should be the front row.
Because the 47 wasn't right behind the Gibbs cars when they pitted. There was a huge gap.
Right.
There was a huge gap from the 47 to the Gibbs cars. That made that, and then when that caution came out, that's the difference between them being on the lead lap and not being on the lead lap.
And when the caution come out matters, because remember, Rick, what happens is you lose 2 laps when the leaders are running 20-second lap times. But when the caution comes out and they run a 35 or 40-second lap time, that is where you gain all of that time.
We're going to take a quick break as they sort it out. We'll be right back for the restart.
If Carl wins today, I'm going to do a backflip.
Maybe when you're dreaming.
Guys, I'm telling you, I can do a backflip. Yeah, I've seen Carl do it a million times.
Well, that's neighborly.
Enough. You're good, man.
That is a banner.
Hand me one of the wings. Nice one. Yeah, that's good.
Toyota. Let's go places.
All right, dude, you got this.
You gotta stick the landing.
Hey, man, you want a wing?
underway. 3 wide behind him. Door to door as they go to turn 3. Down the backstretch.
It's time to listen in. Sights and sounds that get you closer to the game. Brought to you by Bose, the official sound of the NFL.
Let's go. Let's go. About that time to light it up. Let's go. About that time to light up. One play at a time. One snap at a time. Let's go. Come on, man. Dominate. Make plays. Let's ball today, right? 1, 2, 3. Dominate. Let's go. Hogs on 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh.
Bose gets you closer to the game. And Bose Quiet Comfort 35 wireless headphones get you closer to your music.
Welcome back to Martinsville Speedway as we still wait the restart after this very unconventional situation that has taken place at Martinsville Speedway. Green flag pit stops were underway, and then, of course, the caution comes out right in the middle of those green flag pit stops. So everybody thinks that they're either on the lead lap or should be on the lead lap, or if they get the wave around, they should be up front. It's all getting cycled out. Everybody's going to figure out exactly where they're supposed to be. But obviously, the drivers want to make sure this is right before this restart goes.
Yeah, the drivers and teams are going to argue their point, but NASCAR's up here trying to figure all this out themselves. They have to get this right. You know, you can't make this mistake of getting it wrong this late in the season with so much on the line.
And this isn't guesses. You know, they have a lot of computer technology. It's not guesses that they're making, but they have to make sure it's right. And I applaud them for just stopping and saying, okay, let's get it right, because if you get it wrong, you could have championship implications.
Well, it's a complicated puzzle, Rick, because you have to figure out, A, who the leader is, and I think they can determine that the 47 was the leader, but where was he at the time of caution when he decided to slow down, and then who was on pit road, who wasn't? We had the 18 and the 11 who have pitted, yet somehow stayed on the lead lap, and I think that's the confusion for the other competitors. But I see how that opportunity is real, because the 11 and the 18 were on pit road when the caution came out and the leader slows down. That gives them the opportunity to service their cars and not lose a lap. It's basically like hitting the lottery. It's like hitting the short track lottery, being on pit road at Martinsville when the caution comes out, but yet being just perfect enough to stay on the lead lap.
Yeah, and we focus on the chase drivers. We focus on the drivers that have a chance to win the race, but these positions matter to everybody in the race. And so they don't just have to fix it for make sure it's right for 5 or 6 or 7 people. It's making sure it's right for everybody that's still on the racetrack, and it just takes a certain amount of time.
Well, they look like they're all in the correct orders. We look from high above, the aerial coverage provided by our partners at Smithfield Foods. But NASCAR, as you guys have mentioned, wants to make sure this is right before they throw the green flag. Mike.
And catching up with Adam Stevens, the crew chief for Kyle Busch. Can you make heads or tails of what's going on here?
I can promise you the front row is correct. Beyond that, up to the guys in the booth and the guys upstairs. I'm a little confused how the 20 did not get the lucky dog, and there's 2 or 3 guys that seem like they gained a lap in the cycle. So I'll be anxious to watch it back tonight to see what the heck's going on.
Dave, a lot of people still trying to figure this all out.
Well, Mike, I just looked at timing and scoring, and I saw the 22 car scored 9th, but you're on the outside. Are you where you're supposed to be, do you think?
Yeah, it's a kind of a confusing situation, but the 47 was the leader, so the pace car picked him up, and that trapped Selvaros lap down, and he ran out of gas, so then we're behind the pace car, but lead lap cars, but then we got to take the wave around to get there, so by wave around, you just end up in the order you come back by the pace car. We'll fight our way forward from here.
All right. Joe's got a pretty good race car today, maybe not the best he's had here at Martinsville, but hopefully he's in the right position to restart, Rick.
I think that's what everybody's hoping right now, is that they're in the right position. But that was a great explanation by Todd Gordon, because there is a situation that people were in. The 47 was the race leader. When he ran out of fuel, came to pit road, he actually then got a penalty. So with that penalty, that put him at the back, and it changed the way everyone thinks that the lineup is supposed to be.
Well, especially when you're in the lead lap and you have 10 rows of cars that are in a lap down in front of you, you're like, wait, this doesn't make any sense. Right. But because you take the wave around, all that changes, and when that caution came out, everything changes too. It gets very complicated. You would like to think it wouldn't take this long, though. You know, it shouldn't take over 20 minutes to sort this out, to be quite honest.
Lights are still on the pace car, but they're showing them 1 to go. Kelly.
And very quickly here with Mike Wheeler on the 11 car, what is your concern or confusion about this lineup now?
Yeah, I'm hoping to see an in-car camera when we were 1 to go. A bunch of cars passed it that shouldn't have passed it, so
We need to get those guys a lap back down because they got a free lap in the process. It's just an error. Hopefully they can replay the in-car camera and see that and see those cars should be behind us, not getting a lap back.
Okay, specifically, they think it's the 4 car that gained a lap back that they should not have, Rick.
Sure enough, and that is definitely a possibility that the 4 car of Kevin Harvick now just a lap down. And a lot of people thought they should be 2 laps down. Well, the pace car has pulled off. That puts the field back in the hands of the 11 who has chose the outside line. And I'm guessing once again we will see Joe Gibbs Racing teammates working together. Denny Hamlin on the outside. Kyle Busch on the inside as they re-enter the restart zone. Green flag back in the air.
You see that teamwork where the 11's on the outside again, getting the lead up from the 18 car on the restart. Been doing that all day long as they've controlled the top 3 positions for most of the day. Now just the top 2. The 48 and the 1 racing really hard here.
Side by side for 3rd. The 48 takes the 3rd spot away from the 1. Able to use that outside line and get by Jamie McMurray. Currently on the lead lap, 10 cars. A.J. Allmendinger in the 47, the last car on the lead lap. First car lap down, Casey Kane in the 5. Hamlin, Kyle Busch, Jimmy Johnson, Jamie McMurray, Matt Kenseth, Jeff Gordon, Martin Truex Jr., Brad Keselowski, Joey Logano, and Allmendinger, the 10 cars on the lead lap.
You see the 5th car in line, the 41 of Kurt Busch. How hard is he racing? He's 2 laps down. If he's going to get 1 lap back here, he's got to do it on the racetrack right now.
He's going to have to fight for that position and fight by the 4 other cars in front of him as we see the 48 make an aggressive move going into turn number 3, and he's going to take 2nd away from the 18.
Well, Rick, you talked about it. We've talked about the patience. We've talked about aggression. Well, I think it's time for aggression. With 110 to go, only 10 or 11 cars on the lead lap. Jimmy Johnson wants to punch his ticket to Miami. He's going to have to go out and beat Denny Hamlin, probably the next best car here at Martinsville.
Yeah, but now Kyle Busch, who was sitting there running 2nd, he has him lined up underneath him. He's going to have to fight to try to find a way to get to the bottom. If not, he's going to go way back. Right there, there's his opportunity.
You guys remember the 48 has fought his way through the field a couple of times. You see Matt Kenseth trying to get underneath Kurt Busch, who's 2 laps down. The 48 now also, though, has caught the 11 car. Going to be interesting to see how they race each other. Remember, they had a little run-in earlier in the race. Will that play a factor later in the race? We'll find out.
Great point, Marty. Again, we saw the 11 move the 48 out of the way very early in the race. Will the 48 remember that and maybe use the same move when he gets to the back bumper of the 11?
I don't think we have to question if he remembers it. The only question is he going to return the favor?
Well, there's Jamie McMurray. Remember, Jamie McMurray ran 2nd here last year to Jeff Gordon, had a shot to win that race. So will Jamie, who is not in the chase battle, they just turn their year around. So we'll see how aggressive Jamie gets.
I wonder if the pace is just a little bit fast for the 18, faster than he wanted to go. He's fell back in line behind Jamie and seems quite content and comfortable to be right there. There's still 107 laps to go.
107 to go. The 19 back out on the racetrack. We saw him going a little bit slower. Dale Earnhardt Jr., thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate you being up here in the booth, and enjoy the rest of the season.
Thank you, buddy. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
We go NASCAR nonstop.
Sir, this alien life form is growing at an alarming rate.
Growing fast, you say?
You can't contain it anymore.
You know, that reminds me of how Geico's been the fastest growing auto insurer for over 10 years straight.
Over 10 years?
Mm-hmm. Geico's the company your friends and neighbors trust.
And deservedly so.
Indeed.
Geico. Expect great savings and a whole lot more.
If Carl wins today, I'm going to do a backflip.
Maybe when you're dreaming.
Guys, I'm telling you, I can do a backflip. Yeah, I've seen Carl do it a million times.
Well, that's neighborly.
Enough. You're good, man.
That is a banner.
Hand me one of the wings. Nice one. Yeah, that's good.
Toyota. Let's go places.
All right, dude, you got this.
You gotta stick the landing.
Hey, man, you want a wing?
Sunday night is for the young and the hungry.
a career like that. The rookie touchdown.
Sunday night is football night. Eagles, Cowboys on NBC.
Through dedication and a commitment to excellence, these college golfers have earned the right to play these hallowed grounds. The top teams from this year's NCAA Golf Championships will battle in Atlanta for the East Lake Cup, Monday through Wednesday on Golf Channel.
Following race coverage on NBCSN, tune into the NASCAR America Post-Race Show, presented by Advance Auto Parts. And for even more comprehensive NASCAR coverage, be sure to catch Victory Lap at 5:30 p.m. Eastern. And let's listen into Jimmy Johnson's radio.
One of your members say we got bump time. I think he might. I'll let you know shortly.
Well, there you go. They remember.
Well, Denny Hamlin's driving him like he doesn't feel that he's owed anything. He's really protecting this lead. Running the bottom of the racetrack has not allowed Jimmy Johnson any room to the bottom of the racetrack.
See that move Jimmy Johnson made that last corner. He entered high, turned, and tried to leave on the bottom. So he's trying to open that entry up to make his corner exit better. If he drove in low, then all he's going to do is follow Denny Hamlin around the corner. He was trying to find a way to help his corner exit speed.
Under 100 laps to go, and remember at the very beginning of this show, we mentioned two drivers who have outstanding records at this racetrack and we thought would be the favorites. Those two drivers just happen to be Denny Hamlin and Jimmy Johnson.
And isn't it funny, Rick, with all the cautions, all the strategy, the crazy scoring issues when the green flag pit stops and we get a caution in the middle. Through all of that, these two somehow find their way to the front. That just goes back to the point that there is more to control than people want to lead on. There's a reason these two get to the front, and right here, Jimmy's going to have a run. Will the 11 block? Will he be defensive, or will he leave Jimmy the bottom?
He left him the bottom. Is he going to race him the way Jimmy raced him? Use that outside on the corner exit. He's not going to lay over. Jimmy Johnson didn't lay over for him, and he's not going to lay over.
500 degrees, 40 below, and protection for 15,000 miles. Mobil 1. Energy lives here. It's time to listen in. Sights and sounds that get you closer to the game. Brought to you by Bose, the official sound of the NFL.
Let's go. Let's go. About to time to light it up. Let's go. About to time to light up. One play at a time. One snap at a time. Let's go. Come on, man. Dominate. Make plays. Let's ball today, right? 1, 2, 3. Dominate. Let's go. Hogs on 3. 1, 2, 3. Go.
Bose gets you closer to the game. And Bose Quiet Comfort 35 wireless headphones get you closer to your music.
Sunday night is for the young and the hungry.
The rookie touchdown.
Sunday night is football night on NBC.
It's time to listen in. Sights and sounds that get you closer to the game. Brought to you by Bose, the official sound of the NFL.
Let's go. Let's go. About to time to light it up. Let's go. About to time to light up. One play at a time. One snap at a time. Let's go. Come on, man. Dominate. Make plays. Let's ball today, right? 1, 2, 3. Dominate. Let's go. Hogs on 3. 1, 2, 3. Go.
Bose gets you closer to the game. And Bose Quiet Comfort 35 wireless headphones get you closer to your music.
Through dedication and a commitment to excellence, these college golfers have earned the right to play these hallowed grounds. The top teams from this year's NCAA Golf Championships will battle in Atlanta for the East Lake Cup, Monday through Wednesday on Golf Channel.
Jimmy Johnson looking to get the guaranteed spot in the championship 4, and also looking for his 9th win at Martinsville. Only one other driver in the field has a number that big. That's Jeff Gordon. As we go NASCAR nonstop.
Toyota, let's go places.
It takes hard work, dedication, and hours of practice for a drum line to perfect its routine. Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans is just as precise, but it only requires a few minutes of your time. Now, you can securely share your financial information with the push of a button, giving you an accurate and custom mortgage solution without missing a beat.
Rocket.
Quicken Loans, proud supporter of college athletics.
Rocket. I've invested a lot in this game, and the returns I get out are measured in reps. Competition. Sometimes it's audibles, bright lights, and celebrations. It's huddles, camaraderie, and games played.
At TD Ameritrade, we believe the best investments are the ones that matter most to you.
Sunday night is for the young and the hungry.
Have you ever seen a rookie start a career like that? The rookie touchdown.
Sunday night is football night. Eagles, Cowboys on NBC.
.com. 48 of Jimmy Johnson still leading at Martinsville, has about an 0.8 of a second lead over Denny Hamlin. Matt Kenseth running in the 3rd position. Kyle Busch is 4th. Martin Truex Jr. in 5th. Again, only 10 cars on the lead lap. Running 10th is A.J. Allmendinger, about 10 seconds back from race leader Jimmy Johnson. Marty.
Jimmy Johnson out front leading his first laps at Martinsville, Rick, in 2 years. You know, he told me earlier today, he said, I had to change my mentality and how I approach this chase. In all the championships I've won, it was always big picture racing. In this chase, it's just so different. I have to focus race to race. Johnson trying to give himself a ticket to Homestead, Miami, and win a 7th title today, Kelly.
Denny Hamlin running second. Remember, one of 4 JGR cars left in this field of 8. When I talked to his crew chief, Mike Wheeler, about the atmosphere around the shop, he said, yeah, it's been awesome. There's a lot of happiness. It's cool knowing we have a 50-50 chance of winning the championship. But on the other hand, we also know that if someone outside JGR wins one of these races, at least one of our cars will be eliminated. Denny Hamlin has had a better car over the long run. We'll see if he can make a move back on the 48 ahead of him, Mike.
Well, a couple of those JGR cars that he talked about are right behind him, Kelly. Specifically, Matt Kenseth right on his rear bumper. Kenseth has already led 176 laps this afternoon, looking for his first career Martinsville win. Before the weekend began, Kenseth said one of the reasons he's been better at Martinsville over the last few years is because since coming to JGR, he's had better equipment, and he's been able to bounce ideas off of Denny Hamlin. Hamlin has allowed his teammates into his head, so to speak, allowing them to learn how to get around this racetrack. And right now, Matt Kenseth trying to use that information against Hamlin. Right behind him, there's Kyle Busch, another very strong competitor from JGR. He won here back in the spring, looking to sweep the Martinsville races. Right now, though, he's saying the handling is not exactly where it needs to be. The rear steps out on exit. He's been trying different things inside the race car. So far, though, nothing has corrected the problem, Dave.
Anybody's bracket busted after Martin Truex Jr.'s motors blew last week? Well, There were a few of those for sure. This has been one of the fastest cars all season. And when Cole Pern got back to the shop and looked at the beautiful cars lined up to try to win a championship, he said to himself, we are so much better prepared this year. That is why that loss last week hurt so bad, Marty.
Hey, Jeff Gordon in the 88, and what we think will be his final Sprint Cup Series start today, start number 805. And for Greg Ives, his crew chief today, he told me it's so cool for me and such an honor because I grew up a Jeff Gordon fan. To work with him in the first place was neat, but to possibly crew chief his final race is really cool. And I only want to send him out one way with his 10th grandfather clock. Right now, Jeff Gordon looking pretty good, Kelly, in the 6th spot.
That was Jamie McMurray. He was runner-up here last year. And when I asked him why he's so good at this track, he said he's not really sure why. It's just been a track he figured out pretty early on. As for these last 4 races where his team owner, Chip Ganassi, had a message, he said, think of these last 4 as like laying bricks. We're building towards next year. And he also said, look, we've won a lot of practices. Now we need to practice winning. Rick?
Practice winning is what they want to do. They want to get to victory lane. Again, he was second in this race a year ago to Jeff Gordon after Gordon was able to get that win, that big win that catapulted him into the championship 4. Jimmy Johnson wants to do the same thing today. Wants to make it a guarantee that he goes to the championship 4 in Miami as we go NASCAR nonstop.
If Carl wins today, I'm going to do a backflip.
Maybe when you're dreaming.
Guys, I'm telling you, I can do a backflip. Yeah, I've seen Carl do it a million times.
Well, that's neighborly.
Enough. You're good, man.
That is a banner.
Maybe one of the linked. Nice one. Yeah, that's good.
Toyota. Let's go places.
All right, dude, you got this.
You gotta stick the landing.
Hey, man, you want a wing?
Through dedication and a commitment to excellence, these college golfers have earned the right to play these hallowed grounds. The top teams from this year's NCAA Golf Championships will battle in Atlanta for the East Lake Cup, Monday through Wednesday on Golf Channel.
Just 60 laps to go from Martinsville. Sprint Cup Series racing at Martinsville. Telecast presented by Nascar Heat Evolution. It's been a difficult day for the 4 and 41. The 4 of Kevin Harvick has run all the way up as high as 3rd, but right now scored a lap down and running 20th. And Kurt Busch kind of in a similar situation, except it's been a little bit worse of a day for the Stewart-Haas Racing teammate. Kurt Busch is 21st, but 2 laps down.
Yeah, and the issue is, Rick, there's only 3 races in this round, so they're losing points. Carl Edwards has an issue. He's back in 36, so that's 3 Chase drivers in trouble, 2 of them from the Stewart-Haas camp.
Joe Gibbs Racing continues the battle. That's the top 3. the top four. Hamlin, Kenseth, and Kyle Busch running second, third, and fourth. Jimmy Johnson still out front.
These guys have been going at it. They've been racing each other very hard, been respectful, but been a few touches here and there, trying to just not necessarily move somebody, but just, getting into the back of each other. And while this is going on, Jimmy Johnson's just driving away. See the 18 car working really hard trying to get by Kenseth. Just touches the wall just a little bit off turn 2.
That's the beauty of Martinsville. This right here is barely a touch. You go to a high-speed racetrack, that would be an issue with the sheet metal. Here at Martinsville, that's really nothing.
Cosmetic as we see the 46. Michael Annett is making his way onto pit road, but not affecting the 11, the 20, or the 18.
And Matt ran the 11 car down. I mean, he ran him down really quickly. And once he got there, he couldn't do anything with him. And we talk every week. Go to these big racetracks, and we talk about aero push and all that kind of stuff. That's not happening here. It's just competition. These cars are so equal in how fast they can go around the racetrack. It's very hard to pass a car unless you're a lot faster than he is. And Matt Kenseth got to the 11. He wasn't a lot faster. He was only a little bit faster and just been able to do nothing with him.
I'm trying to do the right thing. These might be a lot of options here.
Well, with 55 to go, I think it's important to go back and just reassure everyone how the lineup was created with that timely caution. So we see on the left, 11 and Denny Hamlin's the leader. On the right's the 47. The 47 passes him right here while the 11's on pit road. That makes the 47 the leader, but the 11 of Denny Hamlin is still on the lead lap. Now they're under caution. The 18 saves his lap right here. The 11 only has to race up to the start-finish. You see the start-finish line on your right? Right about here, he crosses the start-finish line. The 47 is obviously way over in turn 3, picking up the pace car. So right there, it is very clear. The 11 of Denny Hamlin, as I said earlier, basically hit the short track lottery in his pit stall when the caution came out. That proves to me that the 11 and the 18 scored correctly. They should have started on the front row. They did. That was a big break for them.
And you saw the 20 car go up and pass the 18, the 47 rather, because he thought he should have been in front of him also. He wasn't supposed to be in front of him. We saw that off the end of pit road, so they put the 20 back behind the 47.
And the free pass, a lot of people were questioning the free pass. The free pass goes to the driver that is the highest scored driver a lap down when the caution comes out. And so when the caution came out, Matt Kenseth was not a lap down. He was a lap down after the 47 was able to get by him, so he would not have been eligible for that free pass.
It's complicated, but NASCAR has worked through it.
Yep.
I know there's some frustration on pit road. I would be frustrated if I was down there because I don't have all the answers, but it's very clear to me that when this race restarted 63 laps ago, the lineup was correct. All these cars were in the right position, and Jimmy Johnson since then has passed these Joe Gibbs cars and pulled out to a 2-second lead.
And they're working around Danica Patrick now. And it was a great point brought up that we just heard moments ago as far as the report from the Joe Gibbs Racing camp, because they know, the Joe Gibbs Racing teams know, that if someone other than one of the 4 from Joe Gibbs Racing wins this race, one of their teams will not race for a championship because only 4 cars have that opportunity. So if Jimmy Johnson wins this, one of the 4 Joe Gibbs Racing teammates will not be eligible to win a championship in 2016. Listen in to Kyle Busch's radio.
Letting the 48 win this race. You gotta be kidding me.
And when he says letting the 48 win this race, I believe he's talking about having to race aggressively amongst the teammates, not somebody going up there and getting the 48.
We're in Martinsville.
Where's the 11? Why can't the 11 take off? If they're racing each other, preventing them from going up and beating the 48, why can't the 11 just drive away and go run the 48 down? Nobody's slowing the 11 car up right now. I mean, the 48 has driven away from these guys.
Well, it sounds to me like the 18 thinks he's better than his teammates, but can't use the bumper to get by. I think the clock is ticking on this friendly relationship at Joe Gibbs Racing. They know the door is closing.
Why do we put so much effort into engineering the Can-Am Defender? Why do we equip it with?
I was shaped by the hands of legacy, forged in the fires of racing. The truth is, what you're made of is what you're made to do.
Sunday night is for the young and the hungry.
The rookie
Sunday night is football night on NBC.
Through dedication and a commitment to excellence, these college golfers have earned the right to play these hallowed grounds. The top teams from this year's NCAA Golf Championships will battle in Atlanta for the East Lake Cup, Monday through Wednesday on Golf Channel.
Sunday night is for the young and the hungry.
The rookie touchdown.
Sunday night is football night on NBC. Sunday night is for the young and the hungry.
Have you ever seen a rookie start a career like that? The rookie touchdown.
Sunday night is football night. Eagles, Cowboys on NBC.
"40 laps to go from Martinsville Speedway." We want to talk about strategy as we are now under 43 to go, brought to you by Smithfield Foods.
Well, the question is, are we going to have some cautions? If we do, the restarts are going to be very important. The top lane versus the bottom lane. Not to mention the pit crews. They're going to have to get their cars off pit road. But if there are no cautions, Jeff, they're going to have to manage those tires.
Yeah, who has managed those tires at this point? We've seen some close racing by all these Gibbs cars. We saw Jimmy Johnson drive away from the Gibbs cars. Who managed those tires early in the run? And as we look at the back of the Gibbs cars, someone's caught him. Brad Keselowski is all over the back of Kyle Busch right now.
And he doesn't care if they're teammates or not. He's looking at points, and points are available, and he's out of the chase. But for every Gibbs car he passes, that helps his teammate Joey Logano. That eliminates 1 point from these cars.
So Brad Keselowski now all over the back bumper of the 18 of Kyle Busch. How aggressive will he get as we're 37 to go? Looks to the inside of the 18. 18 has to enter a little bit higher.
And the 18 has to understand that this is one spot. I know one spot is huge, but he can't put himself in too much jeopardy. He's got to race hard, but just, turning a 5th, 6th, 7th into a 29th, that's not an option.
4 drivers will be eliminated after Phoenix.
There you go. There he did. He just moved over, said, "You're faster than me. I don't want to get into a situation. At the same time, I don't want the whole line to get by me." So he moved over to the left and let Keselowski go around on the right.
This is going to seem silly, but that's the type of move that makes me think Kyle Busch is even more dangerous to win this championship, because he's not driving emotionally. He's driving smart.
Remember how he won the championship last year?
Yep.
He didn't win any races until he got to Homestead. He managed this season. He got what he deserved out of his car almost every week once the chase started, and that's the Kyle Busch. That's the more mature, smarter Kyle Busch.
He and Adam Stevens working well together as we see close racing between the 20 and the 11 of Denny Hamlin.
Remember what we heard Matt Kenseth say a little bit ago on the radio. He said, "I'm doing the best I can. I'm trying my best I can to do the right thing," meaning he does not want to make contact with the 11, but he keeps getting underneath the 11, and 11 keeps turning down on him. At some point, those patience will wear thin.
And now he's got the 2 on his back bumper. He's about to lose a spot to the 2 if he continues to wait on the 11.
See the 2 enter on the top lane right here. Try to get that big drive we've seen off the top of the racetrack. He does accelerate, leaves right with the 20.
33 laps to go. Jimmy Johnson has a 2.5-second lead over Denny Hamlin. Marty.
I was going to say with 33 laps to go, we're talking 32 now, talking about all these Gibbs cars. It's a Hendrick Motorsports car that's up front with Jimmy Johnson in position to win. We told you at the top of the show how important Martinsville Speedway is to Hendrick Motorsports and Rick Hendrick himself. He told me earlier, he said, "This feels like home to me. It's been such a critical racetrack throughout our entire racing career." There's Mr. Hendrick on the left-hand side as Jimmy Johnson puts Kevin Harvick down another lap. And he also said that first win, Rick, that you mentioned, that kept us afloat. The win last year, number 23, a huge win in Hendrick Motorsports history. It put Jeff Gordon into Homestead, Miami with a chance to win the championship. This could be win number 24 for Hendrick Motorsports here at Martinsville Speedway, and it would be equally big. It would put Jimmy Johnson for the first time ever in an elimination format with a chance to win the championship. Steve, I know the man on the left, he's reminded you a few times how important it is to win here at Martinsville at Hendrick.
Yeah, this is a very important place for Hendrick Motorsports, and the 48 is doing a great job to try to get that win. But as that we were discussing the 48, this battle with the Joe Gibbs team has heated up even more, Jeff.
Yeah, it has. And Keselowski got by the 20. Matt Kenseth let him go on the outside, trying not to lose spots. Well, Kyle Busch is trying to take advantage of that and get by Matt Kenseth on the outside.
Brad Keselowski continues to move forward. He's now up to third. Jimmy Johnson leading. Denny Hamlin running second. Brad Keselowski in third. We go NASCAR nonstop with 28 to go.
I was shaped by the hands of legacy, forged in the fires of racing. The truth is, what you're made of is what you're made to do.
Buy one, get one boneless wing. It's the best of both worlds.
Yeah, there's way more worlds than that. There's Earth.
Right.
Earth 2.
No, just pick another planet.
Florida.
Buy one, get one free boneless wings are out of this world. This is how you Sonic.
It takes hours of practice for a drumline to perfect its routine. Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans is just as precise, but only takes a few minutes, so you can get a custom mortgage solution without missing a beat. Quicken Loans, proud supporter of college athletics.
Rocket! Through dedication and a commitment to excellence, these college golfers have earned the right to play these hallowed grounds. The top teams from this year's NCAA Golf Championships will battle in Atlanta for the East Lake Cup, Monday through Wednesday on Golf Channel.
Sunday night is for the young and the hungry.
Have you ever seen a rookie start a career like that? The rookie touchdown.
Sunday night is football night. Eagles, Cowboys on NBC.
How big is next weekend going to be when the Sprint Cup Series and the Xfinity Series both go to Texas? Saturday 3:30 for the Xfinity Series, Sunday at 1 o'clock for the Cup Series. The Cup Series at NBC. And remember, Jimmy Johnson is great at Texas. Not just good, he is great at Texas. If he's able to win here and then go to Texas and win again, that's another guaranteed spot that he takes away from one of these 8 drivers.
That's right, because we have 3 of the chasers today running 20th or worse, just like the other 2 chase races at this racetrack. So this racetrack has determined who the champion is in a huge way.
And there, Jimmy Johnson continuing to get by the slower traffic. 19 laps to go. What an incredible day Jimmy Johnson has had already. Lap 198, he had the tires smoking after the contact with the 11. Just a couple laps later to fix the damage. It took him 40 seconds on that pit stop. And then he has methodically battled his way all the way up to the front. Took the lead at lap 409. He's not going to lead the most laps, but Jimmy Johnson definitely running strong when he needed to. The first time he has ever made it into the round of 8 in this format. And Jimmy Johnson looking for his 7th championship. And if he wins today, he is guaranteed a spot in the championship board. The guy trying to run him down, though, is the 2 of Brad Keselowski, Marty.
And I go back to what Brad said in the pre-race when he told his team, let's finish this year with the most wins. They were eliminated at Talladega from the chase last week after losing an engine, after arguably having the best car, and he has been on the move. Don't give this win to the 48 yet. That 2 is coming pretty quick and pretty hard. He made his way up through those Joe Gibbs racing cars, and Paul Wolfe told me earlier this week, he said, listen, we got better here when we stopped trying to be fast. When we worked on our drivability, maiden runs, that's what's made us better at Martinsville. Steve, you can talk a little bit about that, but that's clearly showing up for the 2 car today. Can they catch the 48 in the 15 laps to go? That's the question.
Well, Marty, we've talked about it all week. It's different between making lap time and coming out here and having good racecraft. Jimmy Johnson has proved he has racecraft. He's assumed the lead. But the 2 of Brad Keselowski has also worked his way up into the 2nd position as we get late into this run. Currently 100 laps in this green flag run. I'm not sure we're going to finish on the green. We could now see one more issue with the tire. These brakes run hot, Jeff. We have seen tires melt, and especially at the end of the race where these drivers are pushing right to the limit.
Well, I thought Kyle Larson was getting ready to bring out the caution. He got into turn 3 and had some kind of problem, got up and hit the wall. I thought the caution was coming out, and it would not have surprised me. The final green flag stretch has been 10 laps or less in 10 of the 12 race races at this racetrack. So I wouldn't be surprised at all to see a caution.
And we're getting close to that 10-lap mark as there are 12 to go. The gap now between Jimmy Johnson and Brad Keselowski, 2 seconds. It was 2.5 seconds. Again, Jimmy Johnson having to work through some of the slower traffic. Now the gap between the 2 and the 48, only 1 car in between them.
Well, I think that's the concern, is Brad Keselowski is running some faster laps with traffic in front of him. Jimmy Johnson has a clear racetrack, so the 2 is not going to stay behind this 13 long. There he goes. He's in clean track. The 48 is going to catch the back of the field, in my opinion, with 11 to go. He may catch Clint Boyer, the 3, the 95, and that might slow the 48 down some more.
And give that 2 of Brad Keselowski the opportunity to get to the back bumper of the 48. What will he do? How will he race him when he gets there, if he's able to catch him? That's going to be the big question with 10 laps to go at Martinsville.
He's going to have some help to catch him. I don't think he's going to be able to run him down from 2 seconds back, but as you mentioned, the lap traffic plays such a huge role at this racetrack. If Jimmy does catch that lap traffic, it'll eat his time up and Brad will be coming.
Again, you mentioned the fact that the beads heating up as this has been another long green flag run. This one 105 laps and counting.
And if we do get a yellow, the pressure will be on these pit crews. With this many laps on the tires, there's no doubt these cars will be coming to pit road.
And who will stay out? I mean, with somebody, with 2 or 3 people, A.J. Allmendinger, Joey Logano, McMurray, Allmendinger has nothing to lose. McMurray has nothing to lose. Truex Jr. has nothing to lose. Jeff Gordon has nothing to lose. Maybe you get 4 guys to stay out. It's not enough time to get back by it.
And slow on the racetrack now. The 93, will he be able to get back around? That's Matt DiBenedetto. Very slow around the curb as race leader Jimmy Johnson goes by. DiBenedetto is going to try to get to pit road. Under 7 laps to go. This time by ought to be 6 more times around.
And I think you're right, Jeff. The 2's not going to be able to catch him without help. But the help might be coming for Brad Keselowski as we see the 48 catch the back of the field. He's 2 or 3 car lengths behind the 95 of Michael McDowell. A couple other cars in front of him. He's going to have to work through traffic coming to 5 to go.
He has caught Michael McDowell. So race leader Jimmy Johnson has now caught the back of the field once again. Will that slow him down enough to allow Keselowski to catch him?
And how about Michael McDowell? He's sitting there running 18th. Good run for the small team. Ever since Todd Parrott came onto that team, they found some speed.
There's the gap. And again, now, slow into turn 3 and 4 because Jimmy Johnson doesn't have a line around some of these cars. The gap closes, and then it widens out once again. As Keselowski's also going to have to maneuver around the cars that Jimmy Johnson gets by. We mentioned how dominant the 48 of Jimmy Johnson has been at this racetrack, but it hasn't been recently. His last win was all the way back in 2013. been 3 years since the 48 team has celebrated at Martinsville.
I don't think Jimmy Johnson's going to push the issue right here. I think he's going to try to be real smart. He has a good, clean run under McDowell. He'll take it, but I don't think he's going to push it with only 2 to go.
To the inside of Michael McDowell. And down the backstretch, he clears him. This time by, coming out of turn 4. White flag in the air. One more time around for Jimmy Johnson. What an incredible race the 48 team and Jimmy Johnson have run. After having a long pit stop and going all the way to the back of the field, he's battled back. He's out front. He has punched his ticket to Homestead. Jimmy Johnson wins in Martinsville.
Yes, yes! Thank you, boys. Thank you.
'79 career wins for Jimmy Johnson. And more importantly, one step closer to the elusive 7 championships.
I am so proud of you. I am so proud of you. Great job. Great job, Jimmy. Great job, team. Team effort today. Earl, awesome up there. Everybody. Burn it out, brother. Light that candle.
The team is going to celebrate. He's going to burn it down. Jimmy Johnson celebrating at Martinsville Speedway. This moment presented by Sunoco, fueling victories all season long. Think about it, too. When the caution came out, Jimmy Johnson thought he had run out of gas, thought he had lost this race, knew that he couldn't come to pit road under caution before pit road was open. Chad Canals told him, I want you to come to pit road. You need to come to pit road. Jimmy Johnson stayed out. He said, I've got it fixed. I've got it. And he's been able to advance on now and will have a chance at the championship. Marty.
Rick Hendrick had to slap himself in the face as if to wake himself up from the dream that is you're going to Homestead, Miami with a shot to win it, Rick. I know, A, how important this place is to you, but B, middle of the year, would you have really believed this would be possible, Rick?
You know, these guys have worked hard. The whole organization's worked hard. We're really happy for Lowe's, Chevrolet, and for the organization. We've been so close in a lot of these races. It just feels good. Now we get to go to Texas, and we like Texas. This place is special. You know, 12 years ago, we lost a lot of our family and friends, and so we dedicate this one to them. And now we get to go to Texas and have fun and go on to Homestead.
As he mentions the plane crash, that we lost so many good people in that plane crash. Still emotional for Rick Hendrick to think about that. And that is why Martinsville Speedway, for so many reasons, is so important to Hendrick Motorsports and Mr. Hendrick himself.
With the win, Jimmy Johnson potentially could get that 7th win and join the likes of only 2 drivers that have ever done it before. Richard Petty, the king, with 7 championships, and Dale Earnhardt Sr. Only 2 drivers in NASCAR history with 7 championships, and Jimmy Johnson will race for a 7th at Miami.
If Carl wins today, I'm going to do a backflip.